specific wallets just for like I have a specific MetaMask cyberpunk wallet. That's where all my cyberpunk stuff goes. Yeah, definitely. I always have projects in mind, and I have like one big long one I'm working on that, I'm still working on it, but definitely like I mean you guys in the CBD channel have seen me like just peruse the marketplace over and over again, just looking for things that I have like one I haven't seen before, like because there's treasures out there, or but definitely or like wearables that shows the female version of it, but you don't, or the marketplace.
Usually it's the male version, but then you put it on and it makes like a crazy female version that you never would have guessed. So
let's see, who did that recently? Oh, The Voice. The Voice has like wearables out that if you look at the thumbnails, it's like, oh,
but then you put it on and it makes like
it's just like a
crazy female version
black
that you never would have
but
guessed.
the woman version is like a dress that is made of piano. Oh, The Voice. I'm like, what the heck? You guys have like wearables out. So sometimes just like going in and looking at every single version of it. Yeah, I guess that feeds my like black, my little like scavenger brain where I want to made of piano find treasures. Like, what the heck? You guys have like wearables out. So sometimes just like going in.
They didn't want to submit twice.
Yeah, I guess I think they just would have. They just have to change the thumbnail. But every literally that Voice collection for the women's, that's one of the nicest collections.
They didn't want to submit twice.
They killed it. There's some really nice stuff, and you don't even like if you saw somebody wearing it, you'd be like, "What the heck is that? I didn't see that in the marketplace." So it's almost like, why? That's one of the nicest. Why are we even allowing?
They didn't want to
submit
twice.
Created with thumbnails that don't even both versions. If you saw somebody like if they're gonna get sticky about like you can't have a logo, but so it's almost like can have like half of the inventory represented. Also because like, what if I wanted thumbnails that don't piano talk version, like the guys version, if they're gonna get and have my avatar out, like you can't have, but my avatar's female, and all of a sudden like she's wearing a dress instead of a tux. Like I don't know, it seems like represented. Also we could definitely streamline that a little bit more.
I think it may have come down to whoever consulted them to submit their wearable and all that stuff. I'm sure there was someone that helped them and was like, yeah, sure, you can do this. You could do anything on the metaverse. They weren't wrong technically.
I
submit their wearable and all that stuff. I'm sure there was someone that helped them and was like, yeah, sure, I'm trying to think of the other words, you could do anything on the
there's
metaverse.
A dress that looks like a mic, like the singing mic that you sing into, like all of the pictures and the kind of the expression of it. It's a microphone. That's so cool. There's a dress that looks like a mic. It's got music notes all over it. So singing mic. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I mean, I'm like, this is a cool collection. You guys just nobody bought it because nobody's a microphone. I don't know. Maybe it's so cool. They were pretty cool. There's a dress that looks like it's got music notes. I should put my dress on. Singing mic. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I mean,
I see Billy's avatar's here in the CBD build. I wonder if he is still up.
I think he is because I spawned into the other.
I see Billy
in Stars
Billy's
District,
avatar's here in the CBD build. I wonder if he
69 was there. And so I was like, oh, Billy's here, and then I jumped. I think he is because he, negative 89, negative 85, and then Billy was there, and I'm like, wait a second, Billy Stars
Billy's
District,
avatar's here in the CBD
he probably has
build.
an avatar in every like 69 section of the map. So I was like, oh, Billy's here, and then I jumped. I think
only the important sections.
Yes, 5, and then Billy was there, and I'm like, wait a second, Billy Stars District.
Oh, this is cool. We have 6 viewers on Twitch, 8 viewers on Kick. Hello, that's a lot of viewership on Kick. Hello, everyone. Well, and yeah, I see that
this is
some
cool. We
some
have
new friends have joined the
6
room.
viewers on
Jim, the
Twitch.
Grill Master.
8 viewers on Kick. Hello,
There's
that's a lot of
KJ
viewership on Kick.
and
Hello,
Super
everyone.
Nina. Welcome. And Poltradamus, thank you for jumping into the Kick.
Some new friends have
We're
joined the room.
trying to
Jim, the
grow
Grill
the
Master.
small little Kick.
Nick,
Maybe
hello.
you'll
That's a lot of
KJ
viewership
get a
on
little
Kick.
more
Hello,
traction.
everyone.
Welcome. And
I think
Poltradamus,
that's
thank you
so
for
cool, and I
jumping
think
into the
that,
Kick.
like,
Some new friends
as
have
I've
joined
said
the room.
before, the
Trying to
more
grow the
platforms that we
small
can
little
just
Kick. Maybe
try to be,
you'll
it doesn't have to like
get a little
go
more
crazy, but
traction.
just try to be active,
Welcome.
pin, retweet.
And
Like, I think
Poltradamus,
that's
thank
it
you
just
for
seems like
jumping into the Kick.
we're building the foundation
Trying to
that we
grow
should
the small little Kick.
build
Maybe
our,
you'll
it doesn't have to
something
like
get a
that. So
little
it's
more
really good that
traction.
just try to be active. I think it's important when people are on Kick, like Twitch. It just seems like, but also really important that people are in world. Like, we gotta be in world, otherwise why build saying Decentraland's cool like that. So if we're talking about Decentraland on all these other platforms, we have to be it's the only place we can wear cool clothes. But also really important that people are in world.
It's the only. The Central Land is just to express ourselves in a fashionable way. Oh Lord.
Yes. Have you, has anybody played around with the new backpack feature? Because I
The
haven't
Central
yet.
Land is just to express ourselves
But I'm so excited. Have you
in a
made your outfits?
fashionable way. Oh Lord.
Yes. Have you, has
I can't
anybody
say I
played around
have.
with the new
I have not sat down
backpack?
for this endeavor because I feel like it's one that may take a little longer than usual because one, the long list of wearables, and then two, it's like only five.
I have not
Only
sat
five
down
outfits.
for this
What if I
endeavor
want to
because I feel
pre-save a
like
jellyfish
it's
outfit?
one that may take a little longer than
Along
usual
The
because
with all my
the long list of
Hey,
wearables, and then
Alpha.
two, it's like I can't
only
say
How
I
are
have.
you? Hello, 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 hello.
I have not
only
sat
five
down
outfits.
Yeah.
I know, right?
what if I
Hey,
want to
Alpha.
pre-save a
jellyfish
It's one that may take a little longer than
Along
usual
The Chal
because
spammed him with a bunch of
all
hearts.
my
the long list of
Hey,
wearables, and then
Alpha.
two, it's like I can't
only
say
How
I
are
have.
Yes,
you?
it was really nice to see
Yeah.
Alpha jump in on Monday for Beyond the NFT.
The Chal spammed
Came
him with a
in
bunch of hearts.
representing.
Hey, Alpha.
Much
How
love
are
to
you?
you, dude. It's so good to see
It was
you.
really
I hope
nice to see
you
Alpha
are
jump
doing
in
very well.
on Monday.
I know
For
you're
Beyond the
always
NFT,
grinding in the background.
came
The
in
grind never stops.
representing.
So just wanted to show some
Much
love.
love to you, dude.
I
It's
see
so good to see you. I hope
Dixon
you are
just jumped
doing
in, as
very
well as
well on Monday.
naughty
I
Billy
know
D Coin
you're
over
always
here, still
grinding in the
awake
background.
at like
Grind never
probably
stops.
2 a.m. for him,
Just wanted to
maybe. Show some
much
love.
love
You
to you,
know,
dude.
okay,
It's
so
so
like
good to see you. I hope
Billy is
you
on a
Just
lot.
jumped
doing
in, as
very
well
Billy,
as
well
you are
on
so
Monday.
naughty
active. It's
Billy
so
D
cool to
Coin
see.
over here,
But
still
I
awake
realized, like,
at
after
like
block party,
probably
how, oh
2
my
a.m.
gosh,
for him,
I hope you
maybe.
got a nap.
Show some love.
It,
You know, okay,
I
so
see
like
it's got to be
you,
hard being in,
Dixon
different time
just
zones,
jumped
and
in, as
all the
well
action
as
is kind of like, not all the
naughty
action, but a
Billy
lot
D
of it is
Coin over
based
here,
on like the
still
United
awake
States
at like probably
schedule.
2
Like,
a.m. for
kudos
him,
to
maybe.
everybody who makes it happen across the globe, especially our
Dixon
Aussie friends. And I don't know what time zone the hardest to be in. Like, not all, honestly. Maybe Asian, maybe European, but kudos to you guys for still coming in and making it happen. Especially our Aussie friends. And
I
I don't
know,
know what
right?
time zone
I mean, even like community members like Z Kyle, he, I just like realized yesterday that we're literally like 12 hours apart, like in time
I
zone.
know, right? I mean,
And he's like
even like community
always
members
here
like
supporting and showing love,
ZKL,
or like popping in
he,
at a
I
random
just
hour.
like
I'll
realized
be like in
yesterday
the
that
CBD
we're literally like
Discord
12
at
hours
like,
apart,
I don't know,
like in time
3
zone. I know,
a.m.
right?
or I mean 3
And he's
p.m.
like
and
always
he'll be
here,
like
like supporting and
you'll
showing
hear like
love,
him
or
like
like
just log
popping
in
in
like
at a
doo
random
what's
hour.
up guys, I've been
I'll be
working
like
on some
in the
random stuff.
CBD, we're literally like
Discord
That's
12
at
hours
awesome.
like,
apart,
I
I don't
like
know,
that.
like
Yeah,
in time
3
zone. I know,
a.m.
right?
or I mean 3 p.m.
float in and out.
and he'll be like,
It's like
you'll hear
I
like
don't know,
him
like
just
the
log
internet
in
has
like,
never really the
what's
role
up
of
guys, I've
small
been
people.
working
Like
on
I know
some
we've had
random
internet,
stuff.
you know,
Discord
different ways,
I don't know,
different ways to connect.
3 a.m.
But this is the
or I mean
first time
3
to me that
p.m.
it really feels
and
like
he'll be like, you'll hear like him
you know,
just
all
log
big
in
one
like,
happy planet or
what's
something like
up
that.
guys, I've been
But we're
working
like,
on
I know
some
we've had
random
internet,
stuff.
you know, we're just not so far away from each other because
Discord.
like the different metaverses or different platforms I've been a part of before, it felt like that, but maybe just more of a United States, you know, all big one happy planet. This one's wild, like, but we're like, I know have friends all over the world. I never would have the different metaverses or different platforms I've been a part of before. It felt like that, but maybe just more of a United States, you know.
That is a
This one's
fact.
wild.
That is a fact.
Like, I know have friends all over the
I,
world.
I mean,
Never would have the different
like there have been different virtual worlds. There are different virtual worlds. There's like RuneScape and World of Warcraft and stuff like that.
That is a fact.
But I mean, I don't know. You never get that like sense of belonging in a World of Warcraft server or kind of like just like the want to like push the person next to you to doing something great because you know they're talented. Those worlds are more like cutthroat, like me type of things.
Oh yeah, like
next to
you know. So I
you
wonder
to
what
doing
makes it
something
different,
great
and I
because
wonder
you know they're talented.
for me the creativity of
Those worlds
Decentraland
are more
that like
like cutthroat,
there isn't just
like
one way to be creative, and it's not
type
just
of
a
things.
passive like the devs make
yeah,
the
like
game
next
and
to
I
you
sit
to
here and
doing
play. Like just
something great
my
because you know
metaverse
they're
was
talented.
Webkins, and
Those
you
worlds are more
didn't have a
like
lot of
cutthroat,
like just one way to be avenues for being creative.
things.
So I guess that's what appeals to me here. And there's so many different ways. Like you could be into music, you could be into visual NFTs, you could be into coding. Like you've got that mathematical, analytical brain. But then if you're like a creative person that appeals to me wants to sculpt with their hands, you've got the you can translate those skills to like Blender. You've got the ability to create your own things. But then you've got the creative person, the people that create games that use their hands. You can translate causation, like cause and effect. Like, okay, what is the game? What is it going to do? How do you get to this point? What are the things? But then you've got that's crazy, insane. How you have to think about like token economics. Like, all right, we're gonna make this. If you do these like ABC, you're gonna get this reward. Like, how do you get? I could just go on and on, right? Like, there's just so many ways to do stuff in Decentraland, and I think that that's what keeps it like so fresh. That if you start getting a little burnt out by like this reward, like making a donut in Blender, I could just go on and on, right? Like a donut house, a donut building, or whatever. Then you can be like, all right, and I think that that's what keeps it like so fresh. That code this donut. If you start getting a little, when I click on it, like it does something different, and you can totally jump into what looks very similar, but is astronomically different. Going from like creating 3D models to like coding 3D models. And when I click on it, I think that's the cool part. There's just so much room for evolution here, like from what looks very where people start to like where they end up. Going from like creating 3D models to like coding.
Yeah, I mean, also opportunity to even grow with the platform, grow with a platform. Of course, there's a lot of pains there. There's growing pains, but isn't that like kind of like a normal thing in a growing space to even grow with the platform?
Yeah, and
grow
like
with
it's
a
a good quote.
platform.
Like if it
Of
doesn't
course,
hurt,
there's a
you're
lot
not
of
growing.
pains there. There's growing pains,
Or if
but
does it hurt?
isn't that like kind of
Next
like a
time,
normal
next time
thing
one of my
in a
friends is
growing
like,
space?
it's like, man, I don't want to
yeah,
do
and
this. I've been trying to do this, and I can't. And let's just be like, if it doesn't hurt,
You're
it
not
doesn't hurt.
growing.
yeah. I mean,
Next time one of my
Sad
friends is
quote.
like, it's like, man, I don't
try
want to do
harder,
this. I've been
grow
trying to do
harder.
this, and I
Oh, that
can't.
just
And
doesn't work.
let's just be
grow
like,
grow
if it doesn't
faster.
if it doesn't hurt,
Yeah,
you're not
no,
growing.
yeah. I think that's what like fascinates me is
Such a
I
sad
just
quote.
I don't know, just because my background is so much in human behaviors and the human brain and like why the hell are we like we are and just breaking down humanity to its like base components. And so when I see people here and I see them come in and they are like cool, like they just start out in the Wondermind and just and then like in no time they're doing they're making wearables or they've got their brand or something. I'm just like so when I fascinated here and I see by the like you were saying the individual human journey of these people, like the way they're making their platform work for them. So like no time they're doing I haven't done that. I don't have like a brand, you know, shit like that. Like I guess maybe at this point I'm just like you were saying the individual like journey of these people. I'm so fascinated by watching everybody else do it. But I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. I haven't done that. I'll put y'all in my book someday. You know, shit like that. Like I guess maybe at this point
I love how this room is growing. Like every like 5-10 minutes, you just see it getting bigger and bigger. Are we in pain? If we're not, if does it hurt?
I think it hurts when we get
I
rugged.
love
Then
how
we know
this
that
room is growing. Like every like 5-10 minutes, you just see it getting bigger and bigger. Are we in pain? If we're not, if does it hurt? We have a nice little group of friends here today, and it's kind of fun to see that the numbers kind of match across the board. On Twitch, I'm seeing 8 viewers, 10 on Kick, and we have 9 on Parcel right now.
nice.
And it's
Well, I
kind of
am
fun to see that the
realizing like
numbers kind of
one app
match
at a
across
time
the
what
board.
the things I don't have
On
installed
Twitch,
on
I'm
this new
seeing
computer
8
yet. And so
viewers,
Twitch is one of
10
them. So
on
I will
Kick,
have to like go
and we have 9 on
try to
Parcel
learn
right
my
now.
password to get into
And
Twitch.
it's
Well,
kind
I
of
am
fun to see that the
realizing
numbers
like
kind
one
of match
app
across
at
the
a time what
board.
the things I don't have
Yeah,
installed
it
on
was the
this new
stupidest
computer
thing.
yet.
It was
So
like
Twitch
it
is one
didn't
of them.
recognize
So
my
I will have to
Kick,
like go
and we have
and then
9
it's
on
like try to
Parcel right now.
what the hell. So
And it's kind of
somehow
fun
I
to see
figured
that
that
the
out.
numbers
But
kind
You were
of match
struggling
there's
across
with
the
one
that
thing
board.
even
recently like
before.
Google will automatically like take over. Like, do you want to sign in with your Google email? And don't do that because once you do that, then it's like it will not. Yeah, I mean, at least in that instance, it won't let
You
you
were struggling with
log
that
in like a
even
regular way. So,
before.
yeah, I'm really struggling with all that. Don't do that. Ay, ay, ay. Then it's like it will. But it is nice to see so many friends on Parcel. And
You
Mosca
were
is wearing some of my
struggling with
favorite
that
pants
even
of all time.
before.
Ah, yeah, I'm
I see
struggling with all
Alpha
that.
just made a comment
Ay,
about the
ay, ay.
build,
But
this
it is nice to see
CBD
so many
1 year
friends on
build. It
Parcel.
was
And Mosca is wearing some of my
for a little
favorite
context,
pants of
Alpha,
all
we
time.
recently, or back in May, we
I see
hosted the
Alpha
1 year
just
celebration
made a
for the
comment about the
CBD
build,
spaces and kind of like the
this
community
CBD
building,
1 year build. It
uh,
was
like Discord and stuff like
for a
that.
little context, Alpha.
And
We
we like it.
recently,
This
or
was like
back
a
in May,
collaborative
we
effort
hosted
from like a
the one
lot
year
of people within the
celebration for the
community,
CBD spaces and
both like
kind of like the community
either like
building
being
1 year build.
actively in
Discord and
the
stuff like that. And
progress of
we
like
like
development, or
it.
just
This
like
was like a
quickly popping in
collaborative
and being
effort
like,
from
hey,
like
yeah, I can
a
help you
lot
with
of
this,
people
like
within the
just do this,
community.
this and that, and you're good to go.
Both like
We had like
being
about like
actively
11 hours
in
worth of
the
music
progress of
from
development, or just like
all
quickly
the
popping
amazing
in and being like,
performers and
hey, yeah, I
DJs
can
on
help you with this,
Decentraland,
like
as
just
well as
do this, and that, and
musicians.
you're good
A
to
lot of
go.
people donated their music, and we even got to feature a
11
few
hours worth of
new community members, or people that kind of like
amazing
introduce
performers and
themselves
DJs on
to
Decentraland, as well as
us around that time.
musicians. A
I
lot of people
remember Root
donated their
C.
music.
He
We
had
even got
some
to
really
feature
nice
a
music.
few
Root
new
C R
community
O
members,
O T
people that
S.
kind of like introduce
No,
themselves
wait. No S, no S.
to us around that
R
time.
O O
I remember
T
Root
C E
C. He
E.
had some really nice
Look him up.
music.
He's pretty dope.
Root C R O O
I'm over here trying to
T
spell in my head.
S.
Yeah,
No, wait. No
and
S,
let's see,
no
is
S.
Alpha on site?
R O O
I remember
He
T
Root
must
C
be.
E
C. He
E.
had some
Yeah.
Oh
really
yeah,
nice
look him up.
music.
He's pretty dope. Or
Root
Okay, so
127.
C
Alpha
R
or
O
anybody
O
I'm over here trying to
T
spell in
as
my
long as
head.
Alpha wants to
S.
play
Wait.
around
No
like
S.
Just hit your F key a bunch of times and see what
I
happens.
remember
And then hit the number key.
Oh yeah,
looking
And
pretty dope.
Madamus is not
127.
in the room. But oh my gosh,
I'm over here trying to
Madamus is just
play
around like.
well,
I think he's just like a coding god. Personally, he did such amazing work getting this to happen. And like we were throwing kind of crazy, like not easy stuff at him. Like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a wearable dispenser? And oh, wouldn't it be cool to have this? Just like sometimes you throw ideas, a bunch of ideas on the wall, see which one sticks to happen. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. I'll do that by tomorrow. So I will never stop talking about this and like how cool I think his skills are. Sometimes you throw ideas.
he's like the calmest dev. Like it seemed like we were just like throwing ideas and piling up the work for him. He's like, "Yep, okay, cool. I'll do this. I'll do this
He's
soon."
like the calmest
Yeah,
dev.
cool.
Like there was never like
a
a
moment
moment
of
we were
like,
just like throwing ideas.
okay, guys,
and
let's slow
piling
down
up
here. Let me
the
catch
work
up.
for him. He's like,
Yeah,
yep,
that's
okay,
him.
cool.
That's like
I'll
totally
do
him.
this.
Just
I'll do
everything
this
that he
He's
can
like the
freaking
calmest
create.
yeah,
Because
cool.
I'm like, I don't
No, there was never like
this
a
isn't
moment of
possible. I haven't
like
seen it
throwing
anywhere
ideas.
else
Okay,
of
guys, let's
Decentraland.
slow down here.
Like,
Let me
the
catch
work
up.
for him.
He's like, yeah, we
yeah,
could do the mucus
okay,
him,
cool.
the bubble,
I'll
we could do
do
CBD
this.
letters, you could do flowers,
He's
you could do confetti. I'm like, I mean,
there was never like
this
a
isn't
moment of
possible.
like
I love that because
throwing
usually I
ideas.
say somebody,
Let's slow
finally they're
down
like,
here.
no,
Let me
they tell
catch
you
up.
no. He's like, yeah, no, we can't do that. And he's just like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I'm like, really? You're not confetti. I'm like, I mean, this is awesome. I love that because usually I say
Yeah,
somebody, finally they're like, no,
for
they tell
anyone
you no.
on
He's like, yeah, no, we
Parcel,
can't
if
do
you
that.
look on the
He's just like,
bottom
yeah, I
right
can
of
do
your
that.
screen, there's like a little picture.
Really?
If you spam that, you could you have like a whole bunch of confetti just like popping up everywhere in the build. That's
Yeah,
another one of
for anyone
Madness
on
additions,
Parcel, if you
as well
look
as
on the
like
bottom
even
right
like
of your screen, there's like a
the
little
reset
picture.
button right under the
If
auto
you spam
dance
that, you
on
could
the top
you have like a whole
right.
bunch of
There's like
confetti just like popping up everywhere in the
a
build.
button with
That's
like two
another one
arrows.
of
That's
Madness
like the reset
additions,
screen
as well as like
button.
even
You like
like
double click that and you
the
can reset
reset
the
button
screen
right under the auto
without
dance
having to
on the top
refresh the
there's
entire
like
scene.
popping up everywhere in the build.
Button with
I don't
like
know
two
if I've
arrows.
seen that anywhere
That's like
else.
the
I mean,
reset
I
screen
as well as like
button.
don't
You
know.
like
Maybe
double
I have,
click
but
that
like
and you
maybe
can
reset
reset
it.
the
But I
screen
feel like
without having to
that's like the first time that I've
refresh the entire
interacted with
scene.
that, which is really cool.
Button with
I don't know if
I
I've seen
believe
that
this was
anywhere else.
like
I mean,
the
I
evolution that came
don't
from
know.
like
Maybe I have,
the
but like maybe
true
reset it. But I
was
feel
it the
like
true stage, the
that's like the
24-hour
first time
event
that
where
I've
like
interacted with that, which is really cool.
they had set it so that you
I
could
don't
like
know if I've
restart the
seen that
screen by
anywhere
just
else.
like
I mean,
walking up to it and clicking
Evolution
on
that
it.
came
I
from
don't know.
like
Maybe I have,
The
but that makes
true
sense. Yeah,
was it the true
because
stage, the
for
24-hour
all, well,
event
yeah,
where
because I've been
like
for all those festivals, but it's okay
they
because
had set
the
it
other
so that you
festivals
could
weren't
like
live.
restart the screen by
Like
just like
true
walking up to it and
the
clicking
live
on it.
musicians and things like that. So like on the stage, that is so cool to see how like all little events like this, like unofficial, unsanctioned events. I'm gonna call them unsanctioned, like not official Decentraland events, but just community events. That is so cool to see how like all push the envelope, push much harder than it has been done in the past, which is really cool. I'm gonna call them unsanctioned.
These
Like not official
community events do
events,
hit
but just community
different,
events.
indeed.
That is so cool to see how like
I just realized that
push
Alpha
much harder
probably
than
doesn't
it has been
have
done in the past, which
the
is really cool.
jacket or emote,
Like
so
not
I'm gonna
community
send it to
events
him.
do
I don't
hit
know,
different
or should we
indeed.
put him through the pay? No, he's probably working.
Of doing the
If he
parcel.
doesn't,
Realize that
if he
Alpha
doesn't,
probably
if it's not
doesn't have
painful making that
the
cake explode,
jacket
then he's not experiencing that true
or
person's
emote,
growth.
so I'm gonna
So
send it to
Events
him.
do
I don't
hit
know,
different
or should we
indeed.
put him
I'm
through
more
the pay?
thinking
No,
of
he's
like the
probably working.
secondary build, the whale build.
That
if he
Alpha probably
that
doesn't have
painful making that
the
cake
That
explode,
jacket
then he's not experiencing that
or
the first
emote,
time I
so
did
I'm gonna
it,
send it to
because the
him. I don't
whales,
know,
every time you go and
or
do
should
it,
we
they're in
put
a
I'm
him through
more
the
different, they're
pay?
thinking of
He's
like
randomized, so
the
probably
they're in
working.
different
secondary
place. The
build,
first time I did it, I mean,
the
it was
whale
brutal, but
build.
I got to the top, and AJ and I were going to get a picture next to each other,
That
and then like one of us crashed, and then we're like, no, we got to do it again, and then try as I might, like every single time after
I'm more
that, I
thinking
couldn't
of
get up.
like the
But
secondary
first
build,
time I did it, I mean,
the
I'm
whale build.
resourceful, so, and I cheat, so I found the neighbor's building, and we're like, no, you know, if you can run up those stairs, not saying that you should, but if you need to. But or if you have a jetpack, you know. And AJ and I were gonna get a picture next to each other.
Oh my God, I'm seeing Julianne's comment from 26 minutes ago. I recorded my DCL avatar dancing in slow-mo to teach me how to dance that way.
Oh, Julianne,
Oh my
that's
God,
awesome.
I'm seeing Julianne's
Well, we all
comment
do
from
need to be
26
learning
minutes
these dance
ago.
moves so that we can
I
do
recorded my
IRL
DCL avatar dancing in
like
slow-mo to teach me how
Oh
to dance
no.
that
Oh
way.
yeah. Oh, Julianne,
Oh my
that's
God,
Oh my
awesome.
God.
I could
Well, we
only
all do
imagine
need to
like
be
there
learning
being
these
like a
dance
whole
moves so
ass
that
like
we
generation
can
of
do
people that like
IRL
understand
Oh
Decentraland
no.
dances and like you know those people will one day
Oh my
grow old,
God.
but they'll know those
I could only
Decentraland dances
imagine
and they'll
like
be
there
at the
being
club
like a
just like
whole
doing
ass
them.
like generation of
Oh my
people
gosh,
That like
I could die
understand
happy if I was at a
Oh
club
Decentraland
no.
someday or like a
dances
venue with
and
all of you
like
guys and
you
like
know
look
those
at
people will
Dixon's
one day
dance.
grow
It's
old, but
I
they'll
forget the
know
name of
those
it. It's one
Decentraland
AJ
dances
made,
and
but
they'll be at the club just like
I want to
doing
see
them.
that. I want to see Dixon doing
That
that
like
dance with like the giant
understand
foam finger and like a bag of weed in his left hand, and then
and
Mary
like
Shark's doing
you
the
know those
snap.
people will one day grow
Oh
old,
my
but
gosh,
they'll
forget the
know
name of
those
it.
Decentraland
Wouldn't that be
dances and
cool
they'll be at the
someday if
club
we
just
all
like doing
kind, you know,
them.
like do we have our little signature
Like
dances?
understand
I guess in
Decentraland
right now you're setting the
dances
bar that you're
and
gonna be
like
doing the
you know
campfire
those
emo.
people will one day grow
Oh
old,
my
but
gosh,
they'll
forget the
know
name of
those
it.
Decentraland
Wouldn't that
No,
be
there's gonna
cool
be a new
someday
song
if we
called the
all
Crank
kind,
That
you know, like do
Meme.
we have our little signature dances? Yeah. I guess in
Totally was not
right now you're
inspired by
setting the bar
Soldier
that you're
Boy.
gonna be doing the
No, no.
campfire
Do I,
emo.
and also, do I
Oh my
hope he
gosh.
won't come after
Yeah.
me? No,
Well,
there's gonna be a new
at least
song
if he
called the
comes after
Crank
me,
That
because he
Meme.
just yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I guess
You're right.
Totally was
Actually,
not
inspired by Soldier Boy. Even bad publicity
and
could be
also
good.
do I hope he
Yeah, I
won't come
remember
after me?
when Sauce
No,
made
there's gonna be a
the
new song
drip
called the Crank
outfit and
That
he
Meme.
changed the shoes. He kind of asked everybody that had the shoes,
You're
like,
right.
"Hey, I need
You're
to
right.
change
Totally was
these."
Actually,
not
Like,
inspired by Soldier Boy.
you know,
Even
what is
bad
it?
publicity
Like,
could be good.
he was gonna
He
come
won't come
after him
after me.
because
No,
he
there's
made
gonna
it a
be a
little
new
too
song
close
called the
to
Crank That
Kanye's
Meme.
design, and I'm like, "There's nothing wrong with that."
You're right.
That would be
You're right.
a
Actually,
great way to get
inspired by
publicity
Soldier
on
Boy.
Decentral Games
Even
and
bad
Decentraland
publicity could be
to
good.
get sued by
He won't
Kanye,
come
but
after
he
me.
didn't think that was a
No, there's gonna
good
be a new
business
song
plan,
called
so
the
he
Crank
changed
That
Kanye's
Meme.
design. And I'm like, "There's nothing
Let
wrong with
them
that.
sue. It'd be
That would be
great.
a great way to
It'll
get
be fine.
publicity
Just
on Decentral Games
even
and
bad
Decentraland."
publicity
Yeah,
could
I mean,
be
my
good.
name
Just let
isn't
it
on
happen. Just let it happen.
yeah, my name isn't on the list, so he changed it. I'm not gonna suffer any
Let them
sauce might
I'm,
have.
sue. It'd be
I'm pretty sure
great.
that the DAO
It'll
or
be
the
fine.
foundation
Just
made him change it. I don't think it was just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
just
maybe it
let
was
it
Miles
happen.
making him
Just let
change
it
it. I got the
happen.
my name
impression
isn't
he
on
was.
the
It wasn't
list,
like
so he
a
changed
sauce
it.
motivated
I'm
thing.
not
I
gonna
feel
suffer
he
any
was his
Let
hand was
them
sauce
forced. I
might have.
remember
sue.
that.
It'd be
I'm pretty
great.
sure that the DAO
It'll
or
be
the
fine.
foundation
Just
made him change it.
yeah,
I don't think it
I
was
could
just
see
like
Sauce being
maybe it was
okay. Like,
Miles
hey,
making him change it. I got the
bad
impression
publicity is
he
good
was. It
publicity.
wasn't
Let's
like
go.
sauce motivated
Ye
thing.
knows who I
I feel
am.
his hand was
Yeah, well,
forced. I
it's
remember
interesting
that.
what
I'm
his,
pretty sure
you
that
know,
the DAO or the
what
foundation
passes, what
made
gets
him
through,
change it.
Yeah,
I don't think it
I
was
could
just
see
there's
like
some
Sauce
very
being
maybe it was
okay. Like,
Miles.
hey,
recognizable,
I got the
bad
impression
publicity is
wearables
good
in there.
publicity.
wasn't
Let's
like
go.
But
sauce motivated
Ye
thing.
knows
yeah,
who I am.
I didn't personally
yeah, well,
commission a
it's
pair of
interesting
shoes where the
what
direction I gave the artist was,
what
please
passes,
make
what
me
gets
some
through,
Yeah,
Yeezys
because
that won't
there's some
get
very
taken
okay.
down.
Like, hey,
That was the
bad
extent of the
publicity is good
direction.
publicity.
And
Let's
many
go.
but
people have commented.
Ye knows
yeah,
I
who
mean,
I
I
am.
kind of like Yeezys.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's
thanks. X one over for your Yeezy
what
needs. Please
passes,
make
what
me
gets
some
through,
Yeezys
Could
that
yeah,
see
won't get
Sauce
yeah. I
being
mean, just
taken
okay.
down.
Like,
style
hey,
wise,
That was the
I
extent of
wasn't
the
is good
direction.
publicity.
And
Let's
it
go.
didn't
many
break my
people have
heart because
commented.
Ye knows
they
who
were
I am.
Those first ones were so much better than the new ones, man. The replacement is, Sauce knows how I feel about this. I don't feel like I'm doing it dirty.
I mean, just style wise,
That was the extent
they
of the
both just
direction.
they're
And
it didn't break
many
my
people
heart. Yeah.
commented.
I'll just stay in my heels
Those
and I'll
first
stay in
ones
my
were
lane
so much
and
better
just
than
say
the new
that I like
ones.
my heels.
The replacement is, Sauce knows how I feel about this. I don't
But I
feel like
like
I'm
the
doing
rest.
it dirty.
I wanted the subtle look, and that's why I needed that gold drip. They're
It didn't break
they
my
did
heart.
so that I could blend in.
Stay in my heels.
Because
Those
back
first
then
ones
there
were
was
so much
nothing to
better than
say
the
that
new
I like
ones.
my heels.
The replacement is, Sauce knows how
But I
I feel
like
about
the
this.
rest.
I
feel like DG needs to walk away from the color scheme now. Like I get it, it does make sense. It's like a logical thing, but I feel like there would be something nice where if like, you know,
because
like generally with a nice poker line, like the first ones look good. Level 5 in gold looks good if you like gold. Sometimes they go a little heavy. I feel like DG needs to walk away. The only thing like Donald Trump and I share in common is that I think we both agree that a gold porcelain bath, a gold covered everything is fantastic. Like so if I say they've gone too far, they've gone too far. But level 5 it'd be cool if they like stepped away from that and just kind of like did a different modifier because like the blue, green, and purples of the like in between levels just never look as good as like you know the clean white or gray or black of level 1, and then the like you know the gold of the higher level. A different Quadra disagrees with something I said, but maybe it's just my hatred for like middle colors, like you know the clean white or gray or black of level 1, and then the like the gold.
Maybe the color schemes, maybe the Trump comment, one of them.
I don't think anyone. You know, it is actually really surprising to me when I find out how many people think that they're like, wait, Jared's not a bleeding heart liberal? I'm aghast.
Maybe the color schemes, maybe the Trump comment.
Speak rudely, but very liberal topics. I don't think anyone. You can. You know, it is actually really surprising. I'm the most. I used to joke, but I'm the most liberal person you know who used the C word, but I've since stopped using the C word because I couldn't get people to understand. Like, no, I'm just calling guys. Like, it's cool. Like, I would never call a lady. You can never get that far into the conversation. I'm the most. I used to listening to what you're saying. I'm the most liberal person.
Well, I for one, Jared, appreciate the lack of the C word. So thank you.
I couldn't get people to understand. Like, no, I'm just calling guys.
Painful, and that means you're never get that far. So thank you. I think like
to be fair, of the pains in my life, letting go of that not the most painful, but you know, I'm not a fan of it. No, you're right. But
that means you're never get that far. So
you know, because like the British just they have such a fun use of it. Like, have you ever heard a Brit like use it? It just sounds so playful. I'm like, I could pull that off. It turns out, Vanessa, I'm not pull that off. It's just not there for me. But no, I do not sound like a fun Mary Poppins. Because like the British just they have such a fun.
I mean, have you ever been called the C word by Billy? It's like so graceful and like I accept it. I like he calls me that and I'm like that is what I am. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, the Australians do it even better.
I mean, have you ever been called the C word by Billy? It's like so graceful and like I accept it. I like he calls me that and I'm like that is what I am.
My favorite French
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, the Australians do it even better.
Have you ever been called the
colorful words? Because hearing them speak like drop a bunch of F-bombs, that's just music to my ears. Like just listen to it's like ASMR. My favorite French music. Drop a bunch of yeah. That one is worth it. If you haven't heard, because hearing them is missing out. Put that on your bucket list. Like drop a bunch of
the French do add like just the right amount of like that back of the throat kind of thing that you know the Germans add a lot of to their profanity.
Yeah.
So like I could see where you're coming from on that.
If you haven't heard, because hearing them is missing out. Put that on your bucket list. Like drop a bunch
the French do add like just the right amount of
I feel like
kind of thing that you know the
from
Germans
if I ever had a German person yell at me, I'd be extra offended just because of how aggressive it is.
The French do add like
or I wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah, they could wish you a nice day.
If I ever had a German person yell at me, I'd be extra offended.
Have you guys voted
just
no
because
on
of
that
how
70
aggressive it is.
on this thing Rob L voted yes on for the person who's like conveniently the exact budget we need for our thing is exactly all of the social media budget for this quarter. Have you guys voted no or maybe voted yes? Maybe you love it on the like this is exactly thing Rob L voted. It just seems like a pretty like conveniently.
We had like about a like 3 hour out of the 6 hours last week. Like it was like a 3 hour conversation on like how we kind of do need marketing grants like directly to market Decentraland. So it could have been like someone that listened back to the space. Like it was I tried like digging into them a little bit more. Like their LinkedIn seemed pretty reputable.
I mean, really? Because when I googled the guy's name, the description I found
could have been like someone that listened back to the space.
He's like, I worked.
I agree. A little bit more like their LinkedIn seems pretty
speaking to product. I mean, literally that could be like the job description they gave could be like any something. That's the like how they promote their book. about marketing. He's like, the only thing I can
I
find
agree.
they
I
did
agree.
marketing is their book about marketing. Speaking to product, I mean, literally that could be.
I think I may have some other stuff, but I really can't speak on detail right now because I can't remember. It's too early for me.
I think when it comes to social media and marketing, like we need it. The whole
I think I
conversation
may
came
have
up last
some
week,
other stuff,
and
but I
I mean, some of what we
really
talked about
can't speak on
before was
detail right now because
there's
I can't
been
remember.
a
It's too
period of
early
time where
for
we're
me.
building, and so like don't send the invitation to the party yet because we're still building, but we're kind of at that point where like no, we can start telling the world to come on in. But I
I'm
just
not
feel
saying
like
there
there's a
shouldn't be
period of
money
time where
spent
we're
on it. I'm
building,
just saying
and
that
so
I don't
like
see like
don't
the
send the
proposal they
invitation
put
to the
forth
party yet
doesn't give me
because
any
we're still
reason to think
building.
that they're the
But
people
we're
that
kind of
should
at
be
that
getting,
point
the
where like no, we
entirety of this
can
quarter's
start
budget doing it.
well,
That's
exactly,
all.
and that's what I'm saying is I feel like it
I'm
needs
not
to be a
saying there shouldn't
community
be money
decision
spent on
or
it. I'm just saying
a
that I
team
don't see like
decision or
the
somehow
proposal they
like
put forth
I
doesn't
agree.
give
I
me any
don't
reason
want a
to
third
think that they're
party
the
coming
people that should
in,
be
although
getting, the entirety
there's
of this
probably a
quarter's
third
budget
party that would
doing
do
it.
it really well. So that's
That's all.
like what I'm saying is I feel
Or
like it needs to be
do
a
we
community
decide as a
decision or
community what does it
team
mean to like
decision or
advertise?
somehow
What do
like
we want? Because just
like I
putting
agree.
ads
I
in
don't
front
want
of
a third
social,
party
like
coming
on
in,
Facebook,
although
that's not going to do it.
there's
That
probably a
doesn't.
third party
Oh
that would
no,
do it
and
really
it's also
well.
like
So
you got to
that's
think of the
like
money
I'm
spent.
saying is
Like
like
advertising is
Or
really
do we
expensive. Like
decide
they put up
as
like
a
there's like a photo of
community
something like yeah,
what does it
sandbox
mean to like
advertising. We should be
advertise?
too.
What do
It's
we
like
want? Because just
the
putting
money they
ads
actually
in
put
front
in
of
of their
social,
like
like on
70,000,
Facebook, that's not going to do it.
40,000
That
is just
doesn't.
paying the
Oh
team,
no,
the
and
seven
it's
people
also
they're
like
gonna have
you got to
working
think of
on
the
it.
money spent.
So like most of that money isn't
Expensive.
going
Like
they
they
put up like
buy
there's like a photo of something like yeah, sandbox advertising. We should so like it's like that the actual reach for the 70 grand they're gonna have is minuscule. It would make way more sense to spend that money to like for another thing I didn't really love, but like it makes way more sense to pay Tobic $3,000 to make a single video promoting like another DAO grant. So than it does to pay some random person who like of the 7 people on this grant. I don't think I recognize a single name. There's one where I'm like maybe I recognize that person from being like on another grant I didn't like. But like there's no like community. It makes way more sense to like incentivize the people here, like you guys, like with like a small grant. And, like, oh, like hey, if you're part of DCL in the community, did you know that like if you contribute, you can get rewarded. When like Rob L like gives this random third party, it just feels like people. All I see makes way more sense to like incentivize the people here, like you guys, insider, like DCL is a cool place to check out to get like a quick payday. But like, how does that motivate me as like a regular person to want to like when like Rob L.
Well, and one thing that I find like when I'm voting, my first thought is like if it's somebody that I like an unminted address, like if they haven't minted their name, they haven't stepped foot in Decentraland, that's like a big red flag. And then if it's just somebody that that I don't know
thought is like
to
if
get
it's
funds
somebody
from the
that
DAO,
like
to
an unminted
do X,
if they
Y, Z.
haven't
Like my first thought is like, whoa, I don't. I'd rather pay somebody inside than like outside. But then I have to like override that and be like, okay, what are they really doing? What are they selling? Because is there anybody in Decentraland who could do it? And if so, then why aren't they doing it? So kind of like trying to not have that, but then I have xenophobic like inside mentality that like, no, you're
no,
bad.
but if you don't, if they are an outsider, they should be able to present like really clear examples of data where they're like, look, here's a campaign we did for this product, and look at the KPIs we achieved. And like I understand some things are hidden behind NDAs and whatnot, but like there should be some level of here's what work we've done, here's how it's been successful. Like clear examples. Anyone can write a book saying that they're an expert at something, but like if when you go to Google them, all you find are them marketing their book. It's not like a great indicator that there should be actually done anything at Google of substance, or that like any when they say Fortune 500 company reaching out to us, like, okay, which ones? But like name names, Google them, all you find are them marketing. Anyone can say that.
I remember
Great indicator that there should
I
be
mean, did you ever look at their website?
or that like any when they say I did at one point. Reaching out to us, wasn't particularly impressed.
Okay,
which ones? I then went to Google it and found his description on the back of his book. It read like he might have possibly QA'd
I
Google
mean,
for a hot second on like
did you
a
ever look at their
remote team.
website?
For probably like did at one point where he hasn't even actually let's say he worked for Google. It was probably like I then went to Google it. Similarly to what I said on the back of his book. That's not technically read like he might have possibly QA'd Google for Disney hired on like a large portion of their staff through that company. So technically they were very clear. Like, technically can't say you work for Disney, but no, it doesn't unless I mention it. Similarly to what I said, sure felt like I was working for Disney. I went to their campus every day for 6 years.
I want to try to find like 6 degrees of separation that I've worked for like big companies.
They were very clear. Technically can't say you work for Disney, but
that would be cool. I remember last year there was
sure felt like I was
somebody who came in
I went to their campus
and they were
every day
looking
for
for, I think, like $100,000 from the DAO, and they said that they were sponsored or like collaborating with Decentraland. And so we quizzed them a little further, and turns out the Decentraland Twitter profile liked one of their tweets, the DAO, and they interpreted that as a collaboration with Decentraland. So you definitely have to, and so we quizzed them a little further.
DCL liked my tweet and they listed that as a collab. That's man, I'm just never gonna be that self-confident to try to sell someone that nonsense. That's incredible.
So you definitely have to,
yeah.
And so
But yeah, no,
DCL
exactly the kind of level of legitimacy I imagine. Man, I'm just never this person has. That self-confident to try to sell someone
cool.
that nonsense.
Next time I have to pitch something, I'm going to add that to the list. Decentraland retweeted my tweet once.
Well, you're a grant recipient, so you can already probably effectively convince people that you and quotes collaborated.
Cool. Next time I have to pitch something, I'm going to add that to the list. Decentraland retweeted my tweet once. Oh my God, he added a bunch of us.
I'm glad he made the cut.
Probably effectively.
What a tease! He's added like a bunch of us. I need to know whether it's like his son has been like just fucking around on his Twitter or something, just adding a whole bunch of random people, or if it's like his agent, like, okay, we're gonna enter the metaverse. I need to know, and they're just like prepping us here, like by like shooting likes and or follows at us.
Adding a whole popular fan theory that Gary
or if it's like his agent, like, okay, we're gonna enter the metaverse.
I thought he was reading a lot. No one has got a negative word to say about Gary, and no one has ever got to say about John Cena.
Follows at us.
I think this aligns pretty.
If it's like his agent, like, okay, we're gonna enter the metaverse.
I
mean, I would even throw Jim under the bus as one of the suspects to being John Cena.
You know what? I had already past 49 minutes. I've already thought once of Jim that like Jim is
I mean, I would even throw Jim under the bus as one of the suspects
Manhattan
to being John Cena.
You know what? I'm watching.
This aligns pretty.
Just grilling burgers like in his office in the middle of the day.
I mean, I would even throw Jim. Probably like, guys,
I just noticed that.
I do not do burgers. You know what, you guys know. I'm eating quinoa.
Just grilling burgers like in his office in the middle of the day. Quinoa. I had that a couple years ago. It's very odd. It's very, I don't know, the texture is unsettling. It's supposed to be a replacement for rice.
I'm eating quinoa.
Like, it's too round and in his office stuff.
It is. It looks like little
quinoa. I had that a couple
So now
years
Jim is the
ago.
quinoa.
It's very odd. It's very, I don't know, the texture is unsettling. Jim, give us your knowledge. And I did see that DCL Curations came up to speak. My bad, dude. I haven't seen you. How you doing?
So now Jim is the quinoa.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, when I requested, I originally thought I had something to say, but now I don't really have that much to say. Other than quinoa is actually really good. I like quinoa. So, we're on that topic. Quinoa is how's it going?
That's like
when I
saying,
requested, I originally thought I had something to say.
It exists, but it is
rice can be really good. Quinoa is
but
actually
you put enough salt, flavor on anything.
So, we're on that topic. Quinoa is how's it going?
Coconut curd.
Yeah, when I requested, I originally thought I had
So those are the
it exists.
butter. Rice can be really good.
Healthy quinoa. Flavor on anything.
But I did see, the grant passed. I'm having issues with the grant. That $70,000 grant is looking to pass, but I'm currently having issues trying to get a grant up. I've been trying for like hours, and it's limiting me. I feel like I'm being Twitter rate limited. All of the text boxes are set to 750 word maximums right now, so I'm waiting to hear back on when that will be resolved. And it's limiting me. I feel like I'm being Twitter rate limited.
So it's probably just doing you a favor.
All the text boxes are set I don't know. I think 750 word maximum. I think everybody reads. Well, I think the majority of people read the whole thing. It's not that many words. Well, it's not even words. It's a character limit. Like 3,500 characters is
most people don't
like
know that the DAO, the forum cuts off the grants.
word maximum.
So anyone who's ever read all of the grants they voted on,
it's not that many words. Well, it's not even words.
They're missing a large amount of it. Like that's a pretty common hole in people's knowledge base for the DAO forum. So like I think you're severely overestimating what percentage of people need all of a grant before voting.
It's not that many words. Well, it's not even yeah, I don't know. I still need all the words. I literally do not have like what? There are 3 different text boxes. If it's rate limited or character limited to 750 per box, and that's only like 2,250 characters that I could utilize. Like that is not enough space.
I'd follow up in the comments for 6.
What? There are 3 different text boxes. Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from Gino and the governance squad, but hopefully that gets resolved.
I think Porn City is probably characters that I could utilize. Like that is not enough space. I'd follow up in the comments.
Okay, I did think that was actually very interesting. I don't know if what that voting is at right now, but I read through it and I was like, okay, I always expected somebody would come through and like, try to make something like that. But then I watched their demo video and I was like, interesting. I don't know if what that voting this isn't right now. Like this isn't making me feel any sort of way at all. Like, for $200,000, I would expect a little bit more of an immersive experience there. It looked like it basically just took you up to a room where you get on like a call with some like webcam person, and I was like, that doesn't seem safe. A little bit more of an immersive experience there. It looked like it basically just took you up to a room where you get on.
Like at the beginning, there were adult film stars. Like I remember there was one that they bought land near District X, and they were like, come here, like this is where you can meet. I forget. I don't know the name. You guys probably wouldn't know the name either, I'm sure. But like, there's always been a home for it. It's just any grant. Like I don't care if you're selling VR porn or trying to, build the next play to earn game. Like you come in out of the gates for a $200,000 grant, you better have something really concrete to show. And so that's why I voted no on that. Like just ask for 50,000 and give us some proof of concept. Like show us that you can do it, then come back and ask for that. Because otherwise it's just like, I know they can revoke it if they're not meeting their deadlines. I also have issue because those the emotes that they're talking about, those are $6. Like, so I don't know. I'm a little sus when you need a big budget for that, and they're already pre-made. And
to be fair, Metaskins is like pretty legit. They've been around for a minute. Like I feel like like they're not someone who I'm just like, oh, you're here to like sell us a cheap bullshit. It's just kind of like like you said, show us a little bit before we just go to the whole 200K.
True, and I think Metaskins like their experience, but that's different than like an immersive porn experience. Like, I mean, if you're
totally.
Whoever does, I mean, it's gonna happen, and like I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. The adult industry is going to. I mean, it's got an obvious place in VR in the metaverse, but like it's also important to do it right the first time, because you flop that and like.
It's true. No one wants that. Like
sad.
Horrifying.
That's sad. Nobody wants to go to a sad porn universe. You can quote me on that.
That said, though, like there's crazy money in that space. Like I worked at a game company that, as I've mentioned a few times, but a dude who worked there before me, he had left to go make like a weird, creepy, like 3D simulator, like dating simulating thing where like the cute girls were trying to kill you while you were trying to sleep with them, and like it didn't look that great because eventually the reason I know about this is because someday like a dude like showed up at that office to like try to meet him, because like that's how obsessive and insane his community following was, that people were just like, hey, does Alex work here? And I'm like, huh? And then everyone else around me just got the weirdest, craziest look in their eyes. And then shortly thereafter that guy left, I got the craziest story about like, I wish I could remember its name because it was a really weird game. But regardless, there really is an insane amount of money in that industry, and you really don't need the best looking female representation to get dudes to be obsessed. So there is merit to it, even though I would generally agree with the detractors that there's probably not enough merit to it to outweigh the the creep
like
factor.
A year ago or so, there was a group, and I think it was called like Alicio Family or something like that. And they had some people on their team that were working with like VR in the porn industry. And at the time, they were talking about putting like strip poles on the Star Atlas ships and stuff like that. But it was like far more advanced to the extent that like these people all like they had these cameras set up in these rooms, and they had these like VR devices and hands and stuff, so that all of the things that they were doing in real life was being simulated as an avatar. And it's like, that's kind of a unique experience right there. But if you're just having like, you know, the same emote play over and over again, you know, like I can watch, you know, people twerk in Decentraland without having to pay for it. You know, that's kind of different. But on a kind of a separate note, or maybe a pretty separate note, the way that budgets are still calculated and distributed, I think needs to kind of change, because especially when mana prices are down and you're seeing the budget is less than like 300,000 for in-world content right now, and somebody puts out a proposal for say 200,000 that might take a year to develop, you know, 100% of that $200,000 is being taken out of this quarter's budget. So it basically just means that, like, unless you're a first mover, like at the beginning of the quarter, everything is just going to be stripped away, and then you have to wait 3 months to go up for a grant again. Whereas if the budget was actually spanned across like the life of the project itself, then it would be much more sustainable, like long term, and people would be able to come in for lower tier grants like more consistently throughout the course of a year. So I do think that needs to be changed a little bit. That's always kind of irked me, I guess.
Have you shared your thoughts like on that matter?
Yes, I have multiple times. I even created a spreadsheet of the current grants that were active at the time and showed what the actual, but because I mean, I waited, you know, 2 months or whatever to go up for this grant I'm about to go up for, because there wasn't enough in the budget. And I reached out to HP in the Dow Discord, and I was like, you know, it says there's not enough money left in this budget, but I calculated all of the currently accepted grants and what their payouts are for this quarter. And based off of that, there should be way more than enough for me to go for this grant. And he was like, well, it's 100% allocated to this quarter. And, you know, that's how we do it. And you're wrong. And so I created a spreadsheet, and I was like, look, if we did it this way, then it would be much more sustainable. And he was like, you're wrong. And I was like, I don't know how I'm wrong about that. Like, it's these numbers here.
Wrong is just that your solution just makes it a year-long problem instead of a quarterly problem, so that like in the beginning of the year all of that money can be allocated and sucked up, and then you're like, because you can, so that would be this the primary difference for why I think he would say air quotes you're wrong, but otherwise
No, because you would still have quarterly budgets, right? So it's not like it would turn it into a year budget. You would still have quarterly budgets, but when somebody in one quarter requests a grant that is going to span 4 quarters, then only 25% of that grant request gets allocated to this quarter. So it's a rolling system versus like full 100% allocation.
To effectively implement that rolling system, the like entire grant budgets would just have to be slashed for an entire year, and the DAO would have to accumulate a sizable treasury, because the entire budget is predicated on the basis of the fact of the vesting contract. So they're like literally like spending it as they get it. So you can't so because of the fluctuations in mana prices, like you have to kind of just go like, okay, we got the money and it's here for you the whole year, because like you said, if mana drops by 75%, all of a sudden there isn't going to be money for things that have been promised in January come October.
But okay, so this brings me to another point, because also talking to HP, I asked him if the rates that we had last quarter were sustainable quarter over quarter, and he told me that yes, regardless of the price of mana, we would be able to sustain this quarterly budget for like years into the future. And then this quarter hits,
I don't think
and all of the budget category prices drop.
Because the nature of the grant that passed to make the budgets would make the answer to that question like, well, your question's irrelevant because that's not how we calculate the budget, kind of a thing. So I don't know why he told you yes. That's weird. Maybe He like,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
in the translation to French, then back into English, he meant like, yeah, like the existing system will work forever indefinitely fine because it's based off the vesting contract. But yeah, I don't understand.
But I mean, but again, it just kind of highlights the instability of like the financial condition of the DAO, right? There is no plan. Like there's no investing, there's no plan. They're like, yep, we'll just liquidate mana at whatever price. If it's at 1 penny, we'll liquidate, and that's what the grant budget is going to be. Like it's nonsensical. And like people have made proposals about having a finance team and stuff like that before, and for some reason people are like extremely against it seems, and I don't understand why. Like when you're managing millions of dollars, it very much makes sense to have a financial team in place to make sure that it's sustainable and to make sure that you don't have like one quarter with 200 or 2 million, 3 million, $4 million worth of budget, and then the next quarter have next to nothing, which is a possibility, right?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I think oh, sorry, you go, Vanessa.
Oh, I was just going to say, a lot of those finance teams that are coming to the DAO asking us to manage our money, like basically like they're coming to us, they're soliciting like, hey, let me do it. I believe that is the framework of most of them. I guess like that, I would rather see us as Decentraland be like, okay, we're going to set aside this much money from the DAO and we're going to go hire a hedge fund manager or like some we're going to go vet like 10 different businesses, organizations, and then we're going to choose the best one to manage our finances. Like, I guess, and I could be wrong, like maybe there are some that I think once there was like one person who wanted to manage it for all of us. And I'm like, damn, I can't even trust my own portfolio to one person because she makes really shitty mistakes. Buys wearables instead of like taking profits. So I don't know that I want to put it in the arms of one person, but it seems like, again, it has to be decentralized. Like, am I out of the loop there or what?
No. I mean, my main issue, and I think in general, the main issue with this concept of like, the DAO should have a finance committee that's, in investment managers, is that the only thing the DAO has is mana. So to invest in other things, you have to sell your mana. And I believe it was the DAO Times that framed it when someone else had suggested this, but like, you're basically saying that like, we don't believe in mana. We're going to sell it to buy Ethereum, or we're going to sell it to invest in whatever other things. But in reality, like, all of the energy and effort should be like it's not, and they also the attachment to this idea of sustainability. Like starting a business isn't sustainable. Most businesses fail. So like the money should be being spent to make the product better, to then bring in people who are excited about it. If you if you start divesting into other things for sustainability purposes, that's just going to like hurt investor sentiment, and then also isn't going to actually make the product that is Decentraland better.
No, so this is where I definitely disagree. And like even Elon Musk with Tesla stock, he's come out before and said like, wow, Tesla stock is way overpriced. So when Mana was trading at $5.80, that was way overpriced. Everybody knew it was overpriced. Everything in the market was wildly inflated. And a situation like that would have been great to have a financial advisor say, hey, look, we've got 1 million mana. Mana's trading at $5.8 right now. This would be a great time to sell and get some stable coins, and then we would be in a situation like we are right now where we would be able to buy double, triple, quadruple the mana back off of the market. So selling isn't necessarily saying I don't believe in Decentraland, I don't believe in mana, but there are definitely points in time where you're like, wow, this is overvalued and we can benefit from selling a subset of our supply right now, and then we can utilize that to help stabilize the mana currency during bear markets. So you just got to think about it from like a perspective like that.
If the DAO puts forward a proposal saying we're going to sell 1 million mana, what's going to happen is everyone else in the community aware of that is going to front run them and sell all their mana so that they themselves do not get screwed. So it's not as simple and easy as like, hey, we have this overvalued asset, we should sell it, just because it's a complicated market. And on top of that, they're essentially stealing from the community. Like that would be the DAO going like, oh man, thank you guys for turning your USD into mana because you're really excited about what we're doing. we're not nearly as excited as you guys are, so we're going to sell all of this until things cool down, because you guys are like, you know, overly excited about what we're doing. It's just like, it's, you know, it's kind of awkward.
Then wouldn't the dollar cost average out and just be like, hey, we are selling, you know, 1,000 mana a day every day, or whatever it has to be, so that they hit the highs, but they hit the lows, but they're not screwing the investors, screwing the community. I mean, look at the ice happening coming up. Like, oh gee, like we kind of know there's a catalyst coming up. Some of us might want to sell, and just knowing that, you know, by selling you can tank your entire project. Like that's not cool. Like we don't want to be doing that, and it'll be interesting to see how that you know, shakes out. But I think it's got to be sustainable, and it's, you know, it's stupid to get to marry a project, to marry a coin. Like, don't marry a single coin. And so even projects like Mana, like Decentraland, it is not a bad idea to diversify. Like, and it doesn't show like that we don't have confidence in the project. It shows that we have the balls to survive a bear market.
Yeah, I like how you said that. And also, to your point, like, this is how private equity funds and hedge funds work. Like, when they're trying to, like, activist investors, if they're trying to take over a large...
They're not making a product. How they work is almost entirely irrelevant.
No, but it's literally not irrelevant at all, because when you're dealing with large amounts of money and you're trying to sell off large amounts of money, but you don't want to impact the overall market, like Kanessa said, you sell off in chunks, in blocks. You typically have somebody set up on the other side that is buying that directly. You're not offloading it to the general market. So these hedge funds, these financial advisors, they're working with other large institutions and parties, and they're brokering these deals, right? So, I mean, that's just more reason why, like, you know, you need a legitimate, like, financial team doing stuff like this. Also, not to mention, the Decentraland Foundation has a finance team. So that would be like saying the foundation
hedge fund
doesn't
managers aren't selling the currency for the game they make. It'd be as if like Blizzard was like, okay, we need to find some people to sell this WoW gold to. Like, no, like, you need to make WoW gold worthwhile. Like, that's like, I don't think it's like a apples to apples comparison about like how a hedge fund works and mitigates risk versus a collection of things that should in theory be entirely focused on building the best possible product that attracts people to invest in it and like spend money.
No, but the Blizzard team would be talking to their financial advisors about how they can sell a certain amount of stock to continue to grow and survive without damaging your overall reputation and stock price. It's the same thing.
I mean, how often in the headlines do you see a positive article going, so-and-so company selling its stock? Like, no, like, stock buyback gets good PR spin. Selling the stock doesn't usually get any kind of love.
Elon Musk sold like $1 billion worth of Tesla very publicly.
Elon Musk the person or Elon Musk the company?
Elon Musk, the person, personally sold like $1 billion worth of his Tesla stock just to pay taxes because people voted for it and the stock price went up, you know? So like, you can't say there's direct correlations. Like when you have the founder of Tesla selling $1 billion worth of stock and the stock price goes up, like,
I mean, I can confidently say that this anecdotal evidence isn't particularly convincing to me. I might not be able to say other things unanimously, but I can say that this anecdotal evidence isn't doing it for me.
All I'm saying is, in order to survive in a startup industry, you need to manage finances better than just selling at spot price. Because already, like what you're saying is, oh, we should never sell Mana. We do it every quarter, and we do it at whatever price, and we do it regardless of whether or not it's in our best interest, because it's how we're currently set up to do it.
Yeah, that's called dollar cost averaging. That's like a dollar cost averaging is the most logical and uncontroversial approach to exiting or entering a position. So I'm not like, I don't really get that.
Dollar cost averaging on a quarter by quarter basis, like, no, they're not taking into consideration any sort of like projections. Like if they project Mana to be at a lower price the next quarter, then it makes sense to begin selling smaller portions at higher prices when there's more stable currency that you can get, and then it also allows you to buy back at lower prices later on. Okay, regardless,
I'm historical data exists to make like meaningful quarter by quarter hypothesis like that, though. Like, it seems
you don't need the historical data. It depends on what kind of analysis
data are you
you're
using
doing
to conclude Mana will be higher next quarter versus this quarter or lower, you know?
It just depends on the method that you want to use, whether it's historical or forward-looking. There's like a dozen different methods out there for projections.
How many quarters
okay,
from when they sold the mana did the mana go up?
All right, I muted the space. I kind of want to like take a moment to kind of just mention, be respectful of others. Don't speak over them. I just wanted to throw that out there before, you know, it got worse and worse. So thank you, everyone. Continue the conversation. I think it was DCL Curations that was saying something.
Yes, all I wanted to say is that I think it makes sense for Decentraland to have a financial team. Regardless of what other people think, it's what all major corporations do. When you're dealing with millions of dollars, it 100% makes sense. We're selling mana anyways, so yes, it makes sense to have people looking at the finances and seeing how we can best our position so that we can be sustainable long term.
The only path to long-term stability is creating a worthwhile product that people will flock to and are excited about. So any money or energy spent doing anything other than making the best possible product is wasted time, energy, and money. I think we're done now. Is there a new topic? How about who we're voting for? Sinful. I'm very sad. Your community needs to stop voting to abstain on votes for you. Come on.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, they can use their voting power however they feel like using their voting power. I personally have not really even been looking at all that because I don't know, not too confident.
Right now, my prediction is Riz K wins with a Rob L vote coming at some point in the near future, unless there's significant coalition behind Shani. That really seems to be the two candidates with the best shots, probably followed by Gino, then yourself, then Lord based on current votes and kind of community sentiment. Also, just the Rob L factor.
That's a good observation. I mean, when it comes to the entire list, I see Gino, as the best qualified, but the thing I don't like about it is that he already holds a position with the Grant Support Squad, so it's like at this point we're centralizing the power a little more he already says that he doesn't plan on stepping down on his other position.
Though he did say he thinks that it only needs 6 months more of work or something before that position doesn't need to exist or something. He did say that. Though I do agree with you.
With a whole nother grant, though, like just now another Grant Support Squad.
Yeah, I do agree with you in general. Not cool. The centralization part of one person with two such important jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see others, have the opportunity to step up. Even Lord, he recently put up a proposal to become part of the facilitation squad. There could be a possibility that if Gino takes the current position that's up for vote, then someone from facilitation can level up, or take the next step to the next squad, or even Lord could take over.
I think that the designs of squads, I think, is inherently flawed and will just ultimately result in corruption. And not even because I'm not even trying to suggest that any of the people who've started these squads have are corrupt people who came here for ill gain, but they're not open positions where the community gets to decide who gets to participate in them, and you will inherently become protective of your job, especially since all of these squads and committees make hourly bank. So it's just I think that realistically any squad that exists for 3 consecutive votes should be turned into a committee and then have the positions democratized across the community, because it's just not possible for them to not become corrupt eventually, being that they get to decide who works with them, and then they're in such important positions. The Grant Support Squad is making great relationships with everyone, and from what I'm told, they do great work and the grantees feel very supported. But at the same time, if they're not, there has to be a clear path to make sure that the power isn't continually being centralized there. I also think it'd be cool if Madamo could have explained how do you provide value to the DAO when asked, but he couldn't. Such is life.
I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, I know I can speak very highly on Pablo, Palewind. Like, yeah, he's out there, he's out supporting, but I don't know much about the others really. I don't know if there's any other grantees that speak to the Gino or Madamio or anyone else. But yeah.
Well, I'll just throw in unsolicited. Obviously, I'm bullish on Sinful. Like it's no surprise that that's who I voted for. But I think I would have voted for anybody who, like, could offer one iota of transparency. Because what do we always complain about? Like, and I'll just put it here. Like, we complain about this with the foundation way more than the DAO. But like, I don't want somebody that's really good with crunching numbers to sit behind the scenes and continue to crunch numbers, but like we don't know what the hell is going on. I think whoever, hopefully whoever the best candidate is somebody who can also articulate to the community, like, there's a big change, this is why we did it, this is how we got to this decision. Because without that, it just feels like we're still so removed from any of these decision-making processes. And so that's, I mean, I don't know, just be completely open and honest. That's why I voted for Sinful, because I feel like he has a track record of showing that he can communicate, with people in the community. But I don't want to, I'm obviously bullish. I don't want to take over the space and shill Sinful, although I do, but I won't do that. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think that, it's nice when you're in a position where you have really good candidates, where like when you have good options. That we are lucky that we have people who want this position, who have a lot of experience behind them. So hopefully the right thing will happen.
I just don't want Rob L to get 2 consecutive candidates of choice. Maybe that makes me a petty person, but given my fundamental belief as a human that he's up to no good, and even himself when defending his actions or like accusing me of libel, has never once actually said like, Jared, the things you're saying are wrong. He's just like, it was totally legal to screw those people over. Like, why don't you get over it? So like, I just don't think that person should necessarily get his, top pick, which is Riz K in this election, in case anyone wasn't aware.
Well, I think it is. I think it is also important to like say, hey, I didn't do anything illegal. This was within the parameters of the DAO, but maybe what a person is doing is shady as fuck. But did I break a rule?
Yeah,
no. Like, but is it shady? Yeah. Like that's yeah. Let's get real.
Is the kind of reply that just says like, I know what I did was morally and ethically wrong, but technically when you call me a fraud, that requires I broke the law. So you're wrong. Ha ha ha, Jared. Ha ha ha. It's like, well,
I don't know. Can I put that on a shirt, Jared? Ha ha ha, Jared. And then we'll make a Noble OG shirt for me. How's that?
Absolutely. You'll have to include "Let the games begin." That was what Rob L said to me in DAO Discord right after doxing me. Just the kind of actions from a totally not insane person who's up to no good.
I just want to send the whole world a hug, and I'm gonna segue onto my
easy Coca-Cola.
Yes, that'll be my business brands. Just you need a hug here. Have a sippy cup. Here's some applesauce. But Meta DJ came up to talk, and Meta DJ man, hooked me up. Like I kind of realized, like, I kind of coordinated like my first ever solo event. I kind of realized afterwards, and you guys, like, I really almost fucked it up big time. It was like 10 minutes before the event, we had no music, and I'm like, everything's fine. But Meta DJ was like so cool. He was like, that's cool, we're just gonna roll with it. I'll go live in 5 minutes. We got it. So good morning, Meta DJ. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. What's up, everybody? I know I've still been active, but I feel like I haven't been that active. I've been experiencing some amazing IRL adventures. Still on it, but had to pop in, say hi ahead of a meeting. And I came up, Canessa, perfect segue. I really wanted to come up and just thank the community for that incredible block party. And Canessa, I know the feeling. I can relate with you. I am an empath. Like, It's all good. That's what I call a classic experience in the show world. I wasn't even sweating. It was no biggie. And fortunately, I have enough practice in hand that we just winged it. I literally said to Canessa, guys, I was like, she's like, all frantic. I mean, what a big deal, right? And I'm like, we're going to wing it. And usually that is not the professional thing you say, but hey, I built some cred, right? Because we winged it and we nailed it. So that was an incredible experience. Canessa, let's do more together. It was so fun. Sinful, thanks for the Mew stream keys. Super clutch. And it's funny, like, we're freaking out, like, oh, we're going to have the stream keys because, times are different. I'm like, wait a minute, I already have Sinful stream info because I have all of your stream info. All right, anyway, I'm kidding. So, yeah, I just wanted to come up, and I think the community build is amazing. Definitely we'll work with you to see if we can arrange more fun events. It seemed like everyone really enjoyed the style of music I did. I'm really getting into new disco, trying to bring that back. But as many of you have heard, I'm into all different types of vibes. So this isn't really me talking about myself. This is me more talking about you guys. And I'm all here to enhance and promote what you do and grow together. So really excited for everything that's going on. And how about all these little subtle updates in Decentraland? I mean, things we've needed since like yesteryear, but it's here. And I mean, look, progress is progress, and I'm sensing some momentum, and I have much I could say on the topics that were discussed, but I'm going to hold on that. I really just wanted to come up. We'll save that for a Meta DJ Thesis Hour. But I just wanted to come up and thank you guys. And
are you going to vote in the DAO?
I'll think about it.
You're going to vote?
Maybe I should participate, right? Like, that would be good.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But I gotta, I can't talk politics here. Meta DJ is impartial with his family. But you'll see on the blockchain what I choose. And yeah.
Fun fact: Snapshot and DAO votes are not actually recorded on the blockchain. Common misconception that we all had when we first got here, because why wouldn't it use the blockchain? But
right.
It doesn't.
And Jared, I do want to give you quick kudos. I was in the Dollhouse Discord, and I just had mentioned how I hadn't been as active because usually I'm always saying something every day. And Jared made a comment. He's like, when you're in the bear market and you're active, you get like a 10x multiplier on the significance of it. I'm like, you know what? That is so true, guys. And I just want to resonate that to everyone in this room. Like, guys, I was just having a discussion. I was like, all these things that we're building, once the bull returns, like Canessa, you talk about happening, whatever the catalyst is. I mean, we're here because we're bullish on the future and what this can become. Everything we're building will truly have the return that we desire, and I'm not just talking financially. And you guys all know it. You don't need a reminder of it, but I'm going to remind you of it because I think it's important. So, Jared, when you said that, I was like, you're so right. Like, I'm used to every day being active and in the metaverse, but I'll leave you guys with this, and I'll hang around for just a little bit, but sometimes a step away can build an entire staircase, and that's truly what I've been experiencing recently. Just taking a step out of the metaverse, being truly inspired, networking with people outside of it, educating. And now we're going to invite them to our dope-ass parties, excuse my language, and let's vibe, baby.
That is a metaphor created by a man who never swung a hammer. I'm sorry. A step away will build a whole ass staircase. Come on.
Hey, dude.
Even Jesus himself couldn't carpenter that.
Well, I mean, It's all stories. So that being said, I'm going to pass it back to Canessa and Sinful, and I really appreciate you guys.
Meta DJ, thank you. That was very well said. And yeah, I think sometimes we maybe place those expectations on ourselves that like we've got to log in every day or every couple days, and it is summer, that is beautiful. Like, humans actually need like sunlight and exercise and good food to thrive. So I think like when we don't see people, I don't know, like hopefully they're doing their best thing, because you really do have to take care of yourself and the fleshy avatar that's carrying you around. And so, yeah, like usually in the summer, I don't know, sometimes I just disappear because I'm out hiking, and it makes me appreciate, like, it really does make me appreciate the virtual world better. And the virtual world makes me appreciate nature better, because I'm like, look at this pine tree. It's so realistic. It looks like the texture that AJ made in Decentraland. So it's harder to tell which one is real and which one is the simulation. But Meta DJ, yeah, the set was awesome. So like if anybody let's see. Yeah, Alpha's in the crowd. Alpha, I don't think was able to be there, but like, so we had the Stars district party this week, and it's about a year ago when a lot of us started buying land, and it's yeah, like, so it's just this concentrated little cluster of people. Dollhouse Seed, Billy T Coins, Peanut Butter, Bitfiend, DCL Brazil, Buffalo, Mana Daiquiri. Who am I forgetting? Probably forgetting somebody. CBD. Yeah, and we everybody took like an hour and found their own music. Some of us found it a little bit last minute than the others. And then people just walked from place to place, or some crazy people teleported from like Dollhouse to Seed, or vice versa, which, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, that's like right across the road, but y'all know that. It was cool. Like it's the second time that the community has come together recently. Like the CBD 1 year birthday party was another time where, you know, like just people contributed to their time and energy and resources to make something cool for the community. And Sinful and I were talking about like how cool that is and kind of how powerful. And it's really nice to see that we don't need to depend on the foundation to create cool events. And I think, yeah, there's like cool talks in the work. I think we'll see more of that. So thank you so much, Meta DJ, for being there. That you kicked off the night, and it was perfect because it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. I don't want to be partying inside. It's like a beautiful day out. So it was like the perfect way to kind of ease into a party when you kind of just, yeah, like, okay, here we go.
So I guess this would be a good time to kind of like even recap that 5 o'clock party. I'm walking through the CBD build on Stateless here, and I've come to the community member spotlights, which it was Z Kyle.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that out loud?
Z Kyle. He and it's confirmed. Like we used to call him Sayel because it's but in the CBD Discord one time he like finally started speaking. He's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Are we saying your name right?" He's like, "It's actually Kyle, but it's okay." He was so nice about it.
That's sweet.
That one Y is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, so he's got some cool stuff, and so the CBD build, there were certain aspects of it that I built well in advance, like the moving letters, but ultimately the build itself was rather last minute. Like I literally started working on it at 9 o'clock at night the night before, and then I'm like shit, a lot of shits in a row. So I got it done, but I'm like, oh my god, it's a giant blue box. I need to make it pretty, so it's gonna evolve from here.
Go ahead, Meta DJ.
Yeah, I just had to tap in there because you mentioned ZKL. And, he was introduced to me through Bubblegum, NFT Bubblegum, because he had reached out to her and just gave her an open source, massive Bubblegum machine build. And she was like, Meta DJ, like, he's really talented. He's looking to get some experience, looking to build a portfolio. You should reach out to him, because I had shared with her my vision of creating like a disco ball nightclub. So she connected us, and 2 weeks later, the day after our party, we premiered our little 1x1 semicircle disco ball club, and it was amazing. And he did it for free, open source, and I just got to give him massive props because he's doing a really good job getting himself into the community. The community is welcoming him, and look, we always will acknowledge great work and great talent and great people. So I'm just thrilled that I have, you know, at Crypto Minotaur Spot, we have a build that aligns with my sets, and there's a visual that we inspired it from, and we were playing the visual with the actual just inside effects. And look, there's so much more we can do, but I was just thrilled to have a build that was free of charge, and obviously I'm operating low budget. So I just got to give props to ZK. I don't know if he's in here right now, but really cool. I love that. Obviously, we want to compensate our builders for what they deserve, but I get it. It's a grind. It's a hustle. So yeah, that was amazing, and definitely you guys should come check it out. Next time at an event, because it's a freaking awesome build, a little baby build.
I mean, I like what you said. It like we can't always give them incentive or something, but I feel like the smallest thing we could do is at least speak about them and show off their work, and give them props for that. Zeke Coyote, yeah, he's been very he's been very active, like just like hanging out, just trying to build stuff. Like I remember having like a late night conversation with him once, and then just randomly he's like, Sinful, what should I build next on Decentraland? And I'm like, I don't know. And then like he just starts like going on Google, looking at like different stuff that he likes. He's like, I like this Game Boy. I'm gonna build it. Do you think this would be hard on Decentraland? And I'm like over here, like just blindsided. Like I'm like, he hard on Decentraland. Me speaking by my own personal knowledge on like building, and he was like, watch this. He's definitely like very enthusiastic and like just ready to go, and he's also like shared stories with us about like stuff like that are in games that him or his team, I don't know if he has a team, like have developed before. And he's like, I I'm quickly starting to find out that there's more to what he you know, lets out. Like he doesn't like to shill himself or anything. And we've been hanging out for months now, and just now I'm like starting to learn a little more about like what he does and the stuff that he has done.
He's been around DCL for a long time, probably longer than everyone talking about him right now, because
yes.
He definitely tweeted from inside Decentraland September 30th. Not Tanessa if she has commented on him, but everyone else since 2021 to September 30th, 2021. I do believe predates Sinful and myself by like at least a week, because I believe it was maybe that was the exact month I joined. But regardless, I haven't even made it to the bottom of his Twitter timeline. He's definitely been around for a while.
Yep.
No one will stalk a Twitter timeline like I will, friends.
You'll get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, well, just because like I do feel like he's like put on like a full court press of being like much more active as of late. But I was like, but it's obviously very clear he's not, new per se.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So definitely very, very talented builder. And then yeah, I hope to see him start to do more. Maybe even like get some opportunities to build. Canessa, it was really awesome that you gave him the spotlight. What prompted that decision? Was there like a long list of requirements? Was there like a yeah?
Wait, are we talking about the
interview?
Yes, this was. Oh, go ahead, Jared.
Did you give him the emote spotlight, or did you?
Oh my gosh, I wish I'd give it all to you if I had it. It was a rigorous vetting process that I used empirical and quantifiable data to make my decision. Basically, remember I started at 9 o'clock and I was like, shit, and I'm trying to build a build, and he shows up. And I'm like, hey, I heard you're a builder. Can I feature you? But then it was so cool because I was like, just, like, can you write up a short little bio and maybe send me 5 pictures of some work that you've done? And then instead he took me to his DCL world and I got to actually like walk around it. And then the coolest part was when I got up to his scene, I was like, hey, I've seen this before. And he's like, yeah, this was my submission into the Sandstorm Builder. And I'm like, dude, I voted on this. This was like my favorite because it's this really whimsical, I would describe it as like almost like Super Mario Brother build where it's got like mushrooms and you're jumping from like Sky Island to Sky Island. And it, the colors were like, the colors popped. They were the right colors for the right mood. And so I remember that one, like that build, there were like a lot of really good builds that were probably technically maybe built with higher, just like, super high fidelity, very realistic, but like that didn't speak to me as much as his build that just was like, this is the right thing. And so it was cool because then I'm like, yeah, dude, like I totally remember you. And then I got to take pictures of the stuff that he made, you know, in person and jump around it. And so it was just meant to be. And, you know, I think that's a really cool way to like show the power of what that build, what I want that build to be, like what the vision is for that, is that, you know, so many times, like we have this resume, right? Each and every one of us, we have a resume of the things we've done. We probably have forgotten the cool shit that we've done, like the you know, like we'd probably forget something big, like, oh yeah, and by the way, I worked with, you know, this and this, or even if we remember, like we don't have anyone to, you know, like who's looking at that. This hopefully will become a way of like a in-world resume for some people. So that, you know, if let's say that Meta DJ, like you're up there, you've got a small little bio, like in theory, people could be like, hey, yeah, I'm the spotlight. Like I can put that on my resume now. I was the spotlight artist for the CBD of the month of July, you know, and I feel like we have to make this content. We have to create it. We have to create these opportunities to uplift our friends and showcase the world what they can do, because look at what he can do. But how many people know about it? Because he's not tooting his own horn. So I guess like that's maybe my role, is I hate advocating for myself, but I love being other people's cheerleaders. And so it's like I can be cheerleaders for these people and be like, yeah, look at him, look at how cool he is. And hopefully he just gets more eyes on everybody in our community. And Meta DJ?
Yeah, you made such a good point there, and I really like that. I actually took a picture, I haven't posted yet, of where to the right of the screen you featured my PFP. You included the quick write-up that I did for you. That was 10 minutes before the event. ChatGPT was not involved, although I love using it. All right, so let's not deviate. What I wanted to say is I do agree we need to put a little more collectively, can find more creative ways to ensure that our artists get the right spotlight they need. Like a lot of times they'll show up and I'm like, who's performing? How can I follow them? And yeah, they can incorporate visuals on the screen, but for me, like I always like the visuals on my screen to be all about the performance and the enhancement, not be too much branding where it becomes distracting. So how can we use and leverage the fact that we're in a 3D world with other ways? We got billboards and signs to be able to follow QR codes. I know Biometa is starting to use that a ton, and it's really useful to get tapped outside of that metaverse world. Because then it's not just, it helps the artist for when they're performing, but it helps us to be able to onboard our to get that traffic going. And even though we're a small niche community, we're building a platform and ecosystem that's going to enable and enhance your ability to promote yourself as an emerging artist. And I think the biggest inhibitor is we don't have a ton of traffic, but you got to create that infrastructure to be able to welcome the traffic. So I think we do it decent, but I think we can do it much better. It has to be outside of Twitter, it has to be in world and interoperable.
Yeah, completely. And I think that, when we think about like onboarding new artists, if we just, invite a new artist to come to Decentraland and they get here and it's just like a show and it's a bunch of like, avatars dancing and then they leave and that's the end of the story, then that's not very much incentive to like come back, spend more time here, learn about the ecosystem and grow. But if they come in and there's a bunch of avatars dancing and their pictures there with their social media links where people can connect to, and people, hit them up after and they notice like an increase in followers or increase in engagement, then that's more likely that they're going to see like, hey, there's something going on here in the metaverse. And so I think that, it's just, we need to take those opportunities and make sure that people, have a platform to be seen. And I think that like for each and every one of us, and like you were saying about the bear market, man, I think we all deserve like a gold star, like a pat on the back for being here in the bear market. Like literally, if you're listening to this, you're a rock star. Like, look at how many people we see just kind of slowly get less active and slowly migrate away to other things. And it's totally understandable and reasonable. So I think that like this is the time. This is like famine. This is like the 1930s drought and the Dust Bowl, and the people that, well, I don't know if the people that stayed in Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl, if they were on the winning side of history, I don't know. But hopefully you know what I mean through that analogy. It's the people like planting the seeds now that are going to like grow, and we're going to pluck the harvest in the bull market. Whereas the other alternative is people come in during the bull market and want to plant their seeds, and they, those are maybe the ones that buy at the top and then are sad when stuff doesn't stay because it's not sustainable. So yeah, I don't know. Just got to keep going.
But you're only going to get to profit, like Vanessa says, if you participate in the Dow and you take some of your spoonful of medicine to go with your sugar. That's not the right expression.
I was going to say you only profit if you actually take profits and don't spend it on wearables.
That also helps.
Don't spend it on wearables and expensive play to earn. Anyway, never mind.
Don't invest in your friends. I agree. That never hasn't worked out yet, but eventually it will.
No,
but,
totally.
It does lead
invest
to longer timelines before profit.
Invest in your friends. Just cover your ass first. Like those wearables will still be out there.
But yeah, being here in the bear market, you've got set yourself up for success. Participating in the Dow while here in a bear market, you're gonna just print money. So go cast a couple votes.
Can we get like a I survived the bear market badge in the forums? I feel like we will need one once we come out of this.
When mana gets back to $2, I support this idea. Until then, we haven't survived shit. But,
yeah, totally. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Oh, I was gonna say no. We'll all sell it $1.25 because we'll be like, I can't believe it's here. No, that's just what I did because like in 2021, it got up to like $1.27, and I was like, it is never gonna get this high again. I'm like, sell, and like 48 hours later, it was like $3.50 or something. I was like, God dang it, no. But it's
Web3 is only pain. There's only suffering down this path you have chosen, folks. You either sell too soon or you don't sell soon enough. Regardless, that price is going to do something that makes you sad. Like, one person ever gets to sell at the top. Everyone else just gets to have regret. So.
you know how we were saying that, like, if it's not painful, we're not growing? I guess it's like just Web3 is just one constant pain because we're always growing, just to look at it in a positive light here.
Oh my gosh, I must be like 7 foot tall because I won't for those of you that know my pain, you know my pain, but like, oh my God, when can we be done growing? Please. Asking for a friend.
2027.
2027. Oh my Lord.
That's when the rapture is going to happen. Otherwise, it would still continue.
After this bear market, I am ready for the rapture.
But the last rapture was supposed to happen in 2012. Nah, maybe 2020.
2012. That was the calendar. I mean, the calendar was done.
Yeah, that wasn't a rapture. That was that the Mayan zombies were going to come and get us. I believe that was the correct reading of that.
And of course, then the drugs like Flocka started coming out. So I guess it's accurate.
I have to go and write more about Metaverse Backpack Company, or Co. in its short. Has anyone here seen what they're doing? Because it's kind of like a Doki Pass, but they're gonna like have all the other artists. They'll be like the Nicki, the Dr. Drip, the Hiroda Kai. It's gonna be all kinds of fun things. And I don't know, pretty excited about that. I think I'm excited about it. I might just be excited about the idea of getting free wearables for life. In worst case scenario, for like 3 years, it sounds like even if, because nothing actually goes best case scenario for life. But I was like, what's the worst case scenario? And they were like, we should still be able to do like one free wearables like once a month for 3 years. I'm like, okay, that's still worth it. As long as you're not going to charge us like an ETH, I'm down. Don't know if they're charging it, but it's not an ETH, I'm sure of that.
That's like 36 wearables. Holy shit.
And there's gonna be like they're also gonna have like some like raffle-y types. Like everyone will get like something from the artists we love, but they'll also have like like a Layer 1 Christmas 2020 sweater like raffle. Like, and their goal is to be interoperable. So like they're starting in Decentraland since that's where all of the most active metaverse people are. But they're gonna have
That's
like
where the
some
DAO
other
is.
side stuff. Well, they're not asking for any DAO money, fortunately, so that's nice.
Not yet.
Dude, I don't think so. I don't think the Creator Labs is like the team behind it. Who like I think they're like the team behind it. Like they all bought Bored Apes when they were like single digits, and like 2 out of the 3 of them sold their Bored Apes. I think they're financially fine. Like they're not here to steal from us. They're here to just be like, man, Web3's been so cool to me, and like I'm really excited about all the cool things and opportunities, and like I think we can help make it better. Like they just seem to be like the rare combo of like people who have profited in Web3 but are also like genuinely excited about the metaverse. Because most of my metaverse enthusiast friends, they did not make much money on Bored Apes.
It is a breath of fresh air then to have someone in the ecosystem that has hit those big runs and took their profits and kind of like reinvested within the ecosystem. Like they built something of their own and they're still here. They didn't buy a freaking Mercedes with it.
Yeah, they did buy some other NFTs that have lost value. They're just like you and me. They've got some cool cats they're ashamed of, don't get me wrong, but like I think for the most part, yeah, like they seem. And to be fair, didn't we all want a cool cat at one point in the fall of 2021? Andrew Yang made them look really fun. But
I still want one.
Dodge Durango Hellcat gets 5 miles of gas to the gallon. 5 miles to the gallon.
Canyonero.
But how
5 gallons to the gas? Is that what you were gonna say,
yeah,
Canessa?
I forget how real gas works. I only deal in Ethereum gas. But yeah, that would have been really fun. Rolling through.
What's the GUI on that auto?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. They were just really hard to find. Wow, dodged that bullet.
So I'm gonna take a moment to introduce my co-host on Music Matrix to the stage. Hello, Shelly.
Oh, hi. This has been so funny. I jumped up because I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe if I listen for a while, I'll figure it out. And I'm still like, I don't really know what they're talking about.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But
my ADHD apologizes.
Oh no, I usually hop on the ADHD train because I'm already, riding the parallel one. But that was a trip. So I thank you for the mic, Sinful and Canessa. I appreciate it. I really just wanted to jump up and sort of wave and scream and shout because we're celebrating Mr. Swee's birthday today in the band room for Wednesday. And all show app holders will receive a surprise present. We have quite a few things to give away as gifts, so it'll be really fun. And then something enormous has happened. It's so freaking cool. Krissa, who we all know and love, and thank you, Sinful, you get all the credit for bringing her to Decentraland. She's going to Paris this weekend, and her and Buffalo have already been doing a whole lot behind the scenes with collaborative stuff that I won't spoil any surprises for. But like day one, Buffalo heard her and was already in her DMs, and they've been collabing. She's going to Paris for some super nerdy convention. And I was like, oh my God, I love her so much. But anyway, in Paris, her and Buffalo will be performing live totally spontaneously. And we're going to stream it this Saturday at 11 p.m. UTC in the band room.
What kind of nerdy thing is she doing in Paris? That's what my ADD wants to know. But more importantly, where will they be performing out of? Because that also sounds more relevant to, the general promotional things.
Just Buffalo studio. So she's just going to pop over, and they have, no real plan or anything rehearsed. So it's going to be just a ton of fun. That's like my favorite kind of performance, when it's just thrown together and magic unfolds.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking crazy, because that's so meta. Like, what? That's insane.
It's so meta. I love it.
It's not every day you get to say, yeah, we had a community member fly to Paris and join another community member for a live concert.
Will that be being streamed at the True Band Room, or will they be streaming that at Buffalo's Place, or both?
Oh, well, just at True.
Okay.
We have 2 different servers. I suppose we could set it up to stream it both, but you'll have to come over, Jared.
Yes. What day is that?
Saturday.
Yeah. What time?
11 p.m. UTC. So
okay, then I should be available at that time. That's like 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, mathing. Yes, 7.
I know where everything is in relationship to when my ice resets, so I can handle my midnights. Once people throw me a mountain time, though, shit gets ugly. I'm like, nobody knows that, except for the fine people of Montana.
The fine mountain people.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like mountain people actually are really, those are on the East Coast and like the Virginias, okay? Like, I don't know, for those non-Americans, you might not know this, but like any stereotypical mountain person you've ever seen in media, that is an East Coast Virginian. The hill people. You don't want to fuck around in those parts. They do not
I'm going to throw Canessa under the bus here. She's a mountain person.
Yeah, I'm a different kind, like, Jared. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty deep, and it's really, you can get deeper real. Like, I was camping this morning in the mountains and like the wilderness, and strangely I had reception. So that was really weird to be like totally physically isolated, but being able to like check Twitter and make sure that everything in the Twitterverse is just fine. But yeah, like I mean, Eastern Washington is well known for people who want to break away from the United States and create their own government. Yeah, maybe in some questionable like ideals, but very, very rugged, independent people around here.
Those are militia people. I mean, like
you
there's
say
a subtle
militia,
difference.
I say dreamers, but you know,
there's a subtle difference. Both own firearms. Your people, your neighbors, I think, are just, you know, like they practice a little bit more together. Like, you know, they're not a well-trained militia, but like they at least have like barbecues where they're shooting at the same target. Whereas I feel like hill people are like, you know, less organized.
Yes, I would say that they're like, from what I've seen, there are places around here where you do not stop your car, you continue to drive, or just, you know, if you've got your, you know, your gun in your pickup truck, you just, everything's fine. You have the right bumper stickers and you're accepted, but it gets pretty extreme pretty quick. But I'm just like
I'm willing to believe I want nothing to do with your neighbors. I just think the subtle difference is that the hill people wouldn't even conceptualize the thought we need to break away from the government, because they're just like, the government ain't in our hills, we're fine.
Yeah, like there's been multiple times that like Eastern Washington and Eastern Oregon have tried to break away from Western Washington and Western Oregon. At like it's, yeah, they really do. But then there's also the Republic of Cascadia, which you guys should all check out. It's like if Lower Alaska, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and then a tiny bit of California like broke off from the United States, and we just made this hipster hippie like utopia. And we're taking like Jeff Bezos and Amazon and Microsoft and everything in Western Washington with us. So
you're gonna need something to pay your taxes.
I'm just going to stick in the metaverse. I think Decentraland is like my way of seceding from reality.
I think that's a reasonable plan.
Don't let the U.S. government hear you say that.
Damn it. The space is being recorded.
Oh. They can't send any tanks to knock down your metaverse. It's going to be okay.
One day it's possible.
Oh, we need tanks in Decentraland. You know, if we do vehicles... How dope.
And that's why it will be possible one day.
What if I had a pink sparkly tank and I roll up to True Band Room in my sparkly pink tank?
Where would you park it?
I'm gonna park it right in the VIP that my NFT that I have bought specifically for that grants me sole access. So the highest bidder gets the best fucking parking place. You guys, this is huge.
You taking notes, Shelly?
Always.
Oh, you know what? Because I have a tank, and that probably costs more, I could run over Rustan's DeLorean. Like, he could park next. He's got his NFT allows him to like park in the spot next to mine. But if like legit, like this could happen where the highest bidder gets the freaking tank, and they get to crush anybody in any parking spot and park wherever they want.
I think you're gonna have a hard time gathering support for any plan that starts with "we're crushing the DeLorean." That's just my take, but you know. But otherwise, I'm on board. Let's just put Rustan in like a nice Corolla, and then I say, crush it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, really, the possibilities. We have not explored this. This could be so fun. Like a monster truck. What about a DeLorean with a monster truck wheels, like bodies? And then, like, we have colliders. Rustan and I can battle, like, the tank versus the monster truck DeLorean. Like, why haven't we done this? Like, forget everything about the metaverse. What we really just don't want to do is just, like, be able to drive, like, a giant truck or a giant tank. Maybe it's just me.
So speaking of like kind of, well, I guess this could fall in the line of this. Like lately I've had like the thought of like pop into my head of like would, and this is a question for like everyone in the room, and you're more than welcome to request to come up to speak and answer it. What would your thoughts on like an asset marketplace within Decentraland, like you know how we have the wearable marketplace, like have a marketplace for like just assets like furniture and different stuff like that, where creators or 3D modelers can just like, you know, submit it to the marketplace and possibly make something out of their assets.
The builder needs to be just like way better and more user friendly and like well marketed before something like that makes sense. There are like grants already for like, you know, Punk Pink is going to make a bunch of assets for people who like can get from the GitHub repository to utilize. And, you know, and then there's like, you know, Mr. D's, you know, like 60 buildings or 30 buildings he did or whatever they're in the GitHub. But I just feel like those things are like poorly marketed. So like, I think that like your idea is good. I just think that the actual like ability to use them needs to be like improved not infinitely, but like 10x before it like makes sense to have that marketplace.
I think another really big like hurdle road bump is that they aren't like wearable NFTs that like when I buy that, the NFT gets transferred to my wallet. Like the GLBs that are imported in Blender in the builder, I can download that and then I can send it to the next person. So I've thought about that too. How would you make like a marketplace where people could buy those assets, but there's really no way to protect them from that unless you said they were imported into, like officially imported into the builder tool, if that makes sense.
Jared, you crushed my hopes and dreams there when you mentioned the builder, because I think the foundation is just like, it's like, I know you're still a baby builder, but we're throwing you in the river. We're not developing you.
The rumor I had heard ages ago was that like they were waiting for SDK 7 before they upgraded it. And I don't follow along with any building things because I don't know how to build properly. Someone else.
I've heard a little something that they're not planning to update the builder with SDK 7.
Okay, well then it would sound like perhaps we've heard conflicting things and my sources are old and I'd like your facts to be better when it comes to being facts. So that's a bummer. Because like there should really just be like a Sims like, you know, toy that you're just like, I drag my walls. Like, have you ever tried using the builder? It is a nightmare. It gives me like claustrophobia. It's like the only way to describe the like frustrated feeling I feel as I'm like stuck in my little prison.
Well, just to like give some insight, like that is the builder that brought me into Decentraland in March of 2019, and it has not changed. The only changes that I've seen is a couple new asset packs and the ability to resize your objects. But otherwise, like, I mean, Like, how many times do you have to go from, like, you have to re-click the rotate tool, click out, click back in it to get that glitch off? Otherwise, it'll rotate your whole, scene. Like, none of that has changed. So, and it's extremely hard to actually, like, the rotation, the sizing tool on the builder, it doesn't change as you, like, zoom in and out. So just to let it be known, like, the builder that we have today is the same builder that it was 4 years ago, with, like, a couple things added, which I think those were added in 2020, I believe. I don't think there's been any asset but added since 2020, or maybe like summer 2021, like before the bull run, unless anybody can, like, clarify, because I haven't seen anything new.
I would argue we shouldn't be spending a lot of money paying third parties to market Decentraland to the masses until there's a builder the masses can use. Because, like, the reality is that DCL should be, like, targeting, like, MIT students and, 3D modelers, and not, like, anyone short of that, or, like, programmers who can, like, and UI artists to make it, like, more intuitive for everyone else. But, like, trying to get the masses just seems we're very far away from there, because most people don't want to use the builder in its current state, and definitely can't, like, code.
I like what you kind of mentioned there, like we should be targeting, like, MIT students, like, in even broader, like, a broader scope. Like, we need to kind of be speaking to, like, just college students in general, like, maybe even, like, three institutions of 3D design or whatever. Like, I feel like they could bring something big to Decentraland. Like, these are, like, humans at very pivotal crossroads in their lives, where, like, they can build something on Decentraland as just, like, as a portfolio builder, and they can have fun while they're building their portfolio. There's, like,
is there some way to do, like, a grant for a, like, contest to give students, like, actual grants for college? I feel like that would be a good way to, like, because then you could, like, maximize the potential by, like, having, like, 100 or 1,000 people practicing building into Decentraland, but then only, like, 1 to 10 of them get an educational grant. I feel like that could be a cool marketing strategy.
That's not a bad idea. I can also, like, well, the way that I could see this, like, maximizing, like, the output would be, like, if, like, the teachers started kind of understanding what the Decentraland is. I guess we need some teachers to go back to teaching and
What are you saying?
and teach
What are you doing?
the older masses. Well, Canessa, you could do you have any connections where you can walk onto a campus stage and be like, this is the Decentraland? And if you do have those connections, let me know. I'll be the one to walk up on those stages.
Yeah, I mean, the nice lady I met last
year. You can
year,
sponsor me.
Yeah, like, I think that would be huge. I mean, yeah, I think that it takes the
and
teacher,
that woman didn't
Go ahead.
From your stories, that woman did not know a thing about the Decentraland.
Nope.
She just knew that it was a thing.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything further beyond that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
I feel like
it was awesome to be sitting in the audience at this photography conference and have a woman start lecturing on Decentraland and public art spaces and how this is
for you to be there listening. It'd be such a weird question because, like, you legitimately should be able to ask the question to prove their legitimacy. Do you know who I am? And, like, no one else in the world would in that room would be like, "That's a crazy woman asking that question."
Yeah.
Why does she think that's
relevant? Oh my gosh, I missed my opportunity. Do you know who I am? Yeah. No, I actually went and I had coffee with her afterwards, and so, I mean, her. I think that her motivation was pure. But I do believe that there are grants out there that people can apply for, and they can have all of the expenses of the trip paid for and their clock hours booked if it is on the subject of, like, an emerging tech. So I believe this person did a little research, found the metaverse. That's probably pretty easy to do because it's going to pop up fast. she did use the VR, which I was impressed with. She went in, but her concern is that installation of public arts in public places like Genesis Plaza should be determined by the community. And so I'm like, have you been to our DAO? And she didn't know anything about the DAO. You know, so I'm like, well, you know.
Yeah. That she's in a weird spot. Because I was going to say, because like there are people who are super active in the DAO, like Meta Rook, I think is how his name is said. We have a lot of conflict. But like he's super active and he's like done a lot of work on trying to like onboard banking institutions into Decentraland. But then like when we start talking about Doki, he'll always be like, you know, like I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, I don't know who Doki is. You're all just said if you don't know who Doki is, you should feel like an idiot. Well, it's just like, well, he doesn't spend any, like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to justify not knowing who Doki is, obviously. I like, you know, I'd like to think of myself as on the council of the fan club. But yeah, but regardless, like there's this very weird divide. Because like I used to understood the fact that like in-world people can't totally like relate or know of like all of the DAO information or like, you know, the people who are super active in it. But it hadn't also occurred to me that the people who are like, because my mind is like, okay, you go from being super active in the world, and then you come to the DAO. But then, like, you know, the people who did that in 2001, maybe they didn't go back to being super active in the community as much, so they missed, you know, the Doki's rise. Or, you know, like, maybe they don't know about the True Band Room even, which is like, you know, so I feel like there needs to be, like, more work to just, like, bridge these two kind of, or multiple spaces together to, like, you know, find a, like, a common space to be like, oh, because, like, everyone should know who Doki is, obviously. And, like, and all of you guys should know who Meta Rook is because he's, you know, called me an asshole in DAO chat often enough that you should have seen it by now.
Well,
and he makes pretty reasonable arguments.
In reality, like if Decentraland's going to grow and let's say it has 1 million users, although, wow, I don't know, maybe some server upgrades, but let's just say that it does get really, really, really big. It is like a city. I mean, it's not even a city, it's a world. And so it, I guess that's the cool thing is that we can be doing our own thing in isolation of others. Because sometimes I'm like, yeah, like these places that are asking for POIs, they haven't done anything with the community. They haven't done like parties and gotten to know each other. But then it's like, well, wait, like parties don't equal, you know, contributions to, like that is not the only way to contribute. So sometimes I have to like check my own, I don't know, like way of thinking.
Oh yeah. And also, like, just sometimes like people don't fall into your circle. So, like for example, the Creator Labs people who are doing the Metaverse Backpack, like I've been like doing a lot of research because I'm like, okay, if I'm going to speak up and say it's cool, I gotta know. And like they've done lots of stuff in Decentraland. Like they did like at the end of last year, they did like a Caribbean art week because like they're from Trinidad and Tobago, so like they did like a whole Caribbean art week like event at their like Caribbean art center at like -40 around there, or 40 -40. But either way, I was just like, I didn't see that when it happened. Like I was totally oblivious to that just because like, you know, I don't hang out with a lot of the people active in the Caribbean part of the community, I guess. So, you know, so like, but like there are people still doing lots of cool stuff that like, you know, we might even not be aware of just because like, you know, Decentraland is a lot bigger than, you know, we give it credit for. And it's like a global community. So it's easy to like miss things. And like, you know, and also it's so easy to like look at other people's event and be like, well, there's only like 12 people there and like kind of like scoff at it. But like, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. How many events have you been super excited about or thrown that got 12 people? You know, like let's, you know, don't be a dick about it. You're in a glass house. Their 12-person event is just as legitimate as your 12-person event. So, you know, it's tough, but it's also tough because like I'm also pretty confident that there are like, you know, scammers and people trying to like, you know, try and fund that for as like little work as possible. So I'm always just like, I don't know who to trust. I smoked too much weed to make a good judgment on this.
I mean the fact that the Decentraland DAO is you know, an entity to like really like consider. Like I know what you mean, like when it comes to like not understanding their motives. I mean, sometimes I don't know. I really can't. I really can't say anything on it due to the fact because like I don't know. If you're gonna be hanging out in the DAO, you should at least like set foot and know what somewhat is going on in the world. I don't know, but because it's like, you know, a place that can fund your project if you needed it to, or in most of these cases, like they do.
Yeah, well, to be in the example of this person who didn't know who Doki was but is active in the DAO, like I do not believe they have ever asked the DAO for $1. You know, they're not someone like I would. I believe like they rent from District X, so that's some of where our tension came from because we met when I was like District X's should be, you know, like marked as stolen along, you know, with Morph. So they were like a little like, hey man, I've paid rent for a year. I wouldn't really appreciate that, but they weren't so forthcoming with that. So it made it. I didn't understand why there was so much pushback from them because they didn't explain to me their actual issue for a while. But like other than that, like they're, you know, they're not like, they're generally trying to act in good faith with other people in discussions for the most part. So like I don't think it's fair to like, you know, it's more complicated than just they're there to try to like milk money. Like it seems like they've like, you know, generally trying to like onboard, you know, major institutions into the space, which I don't necessarily think is a great use of time, like trying to onboard banks. But like I can understand why a person would think that's a good thing and helpful for the system, and like you can't really fault them if that's what they're, you know, doing.
Hey, it's something. It's something.
Yeah, he's always talking about how he got the first ATM machine in Decentraland, and I'm always just like, what the does that even mean? I can't go to the ATM machine in Decentraland and get money to shoot out of my computer. Why does it matter if there's an ATM machine in Decentraland? But I have yet been able to find a way to articulate that question to him that I think he would find polite enough to answer.
And kind of, I guess since we've kind of been throwing the Doki around, yeah, that grant for Doki, I'm bullish. I'm very, very bullish. You know, once again, did I hear a Mew?
Yeah, Lulu wanted to say hello. She probably wanted to say
hello,
feed
Mew.
me.
Yeah, I think it's more like feed me. But yeah, like once again, even kind of what we were like saying a few weeks back with Unknowers grant, like it's good to see creators that are doing things within the platform that understand how it works, doing things like asking for this financial support to you know, further the project overall, or like, you know, our world overall. So very happy that Doki stepped up and, you know, took that initiative.
Yeah, it's a testament to Doki that while HP did voice some, you know, negative, like anti the grant just because it's in his eyes it's very similar.
Always?
But he did not vote no. Like the vote total is actually pretty absurd. It's like 98% yes to 1% no. One person with 100 VP voted no. We won't go and dox them. And then one 552 person abstained. But there's like just 44 yes votes for like 4.5 million, you know, plus VP, which is I think the most overwhelmingly supported grant I've ever seen.
Excuse me, sir. Did you see my grant, sir? Notice me?
Did you? I was like, I don't. If you had less than or equal to one no vote, that's amazing. That's, you know, like the bots should even, you know, be hitting you with some of those, I would think.
I think so. I think I may have like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're pretty likable. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, well, thank you, Jared. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you. Now we can consider. And I mean, even like alongside with that Doki grant, the grant by the grant proposal by Stony, like I love seeing this on in the DAO. I think Stony could get the job done, like whatever it is. Like this man has connections in music, and has been active, has been so giving to everyone, and never expecting anything back. So I mean, I really hope to see that grant pass through soon. Let's see how many. I think it needs like 700K more VP for it to pass.
I don't really follow Stony particularly closely, so I can't speak to his qualities, but everyone I know and like generally are fans, so I would, you know, have to assume he's on the, you know, on the level.
Hey, Stony.
He's a good egg.
Like I wouldn't be here right now if not for Stony, and I kind of left a little comment. Like I was just selling my land.
Oh yes, I did read that. That is a pretty good one. I was like, damn, okay, that's a pretty good endorsement right there.
Well, because it's like that's my music. That's like, man, and he's playing like stick figure, and you know, like when you hear your jam, and there's nobody else that plays reggae. and like, damn, like that's my music, you know, like, and I was just going to events to try to figure out, how do I sell my land? How the hell do I get out of Decentraland? Like, I want out, and like, I want these people at these parties to buy my stuff, like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait.
What you're saying is actually it's Stoney's fault that you didn't get to sell at the top. I think we need to send him a strongly worded letter.
No. I sold pretty good, and then I bought a lot of wearables at the top too. So that's I am my own worst enemy. But no, like, you know, everybody needs that, like, person. Like, if your music is freaking, you know, hardcore house, and you stumble upon that DJ that plays that music, that sings to you, like, oh my gosh, that'll keep you here. Or if your music is like futuristic Western and you stumble upon Buffalo and you're like, what the hell, I can't believe this guy just mixed, you know, like Stevie Nicks, like, next to like some you know, like, the magic. And yeah, for me, Stoney, that was him. And that made me, I was like, every week, Wednesday at 4:20, I was at Parcel Party, and that got me hooked. I didn't care about any popes. I would say it, like, I don't care about popes except Stonies. And so I've like all of, like, if you look at my popes, it's all weed, like spinning weed circles and stuff. And so, but I also think, like, with that grant, you know, it's kind of, it's like, we fund places in Decentraland, we fund clubs and venues, but like, how about funding a person, like believing in a person so much that you're gonna, like, say, this person, if this person sticks around for another 2 years, I know there will be so many, the ripple effect that they can make in this community, they will build so much shit. And I feel like we do kind of have to see that, is that there's these tentpole people that, look at what UMAC did for Cromulin back in the day. Like, there are people who literally single-handedly build shit. And I think it's okay that we support individuals instead of just entities, like a specific club. And you can show your support by voting for Stoney. Shameless plug.
I generally agree with that hypothesis. I think it's like a dangerous, like, game, because like there's so many DJs that we all love that it, like, in the DAO can't afford to fund all of them. So I feel like it's kind of like, I feel like maybe it's just like okay, every DJ, you get one. If you come back for seconds, like, we gotta cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I feel like that should maybe be for like most of the individuals.
I realize I'm just like, he's made such an impact for me, and that's why I'm like, God, yeah, like this I mean, I get that. Like, you can't support everybody.
I don't want to invalidate his value. Like, ideally, we'd be able to give all of the DJs people feel that strongly about the funds. I just feel like because we cannot, it's like tricky, and like, I don't know if it's like, because like, is it like, I don't necessarily think philosophically the right answer is like, since we can't give everyone something, no one gets anything. Like, you know, I don't necessarily like that. I don't love that, the sound of that, but I don't know what the, like, I could see why others would lean
yeah
towards it.
I mean, and
What's up,
I definitely had hesitations too before I voted, because I do yeah, you know, I want to give everybody, like, I want to Oprah the grants. You get a grant, because if you don't, people have to go live their real lives. They have to eat. And so I guess maybe I'll just say that, like, we've got to figure out, I don't know if that's a community decision.
And I do actually think, like, it's actually good viral marketing for the platform, because it's like, hey, if you come here and you hang out and you make a contribution, like, the community will take care of you and, like, you know, return that. So like, it isn't just like, oh, we're just giving one guy $60,000 to buy a new computer and like play music, and it's like, no, like, you know, he's showing people, like, the path, like, you know, he's walking the walk. So yeah, sorry, Shelly, I interrupted again after, like, literally stopping so that you could talk.
No worries. No, I was going to say that it really is like an investment, and I think that in this case with Stoney, Decentraland will ultimately benefit, because now, or if it passes and, you know, we go through this whole thing with I think that investment, that becomes part of his story, and he's an incredible artist. Like, now Decentraland has just become part of his timeline. So when there's a documentary made on Stoney, Decentraland's a part of it, and the community's a part of it. And if anybody gives already, oh my God, like, just the fact that all of his attendance tokens are original artwork, that's incredible. That's awesome. You show up and you get a piece of the original Stony art. Like, if you really think about it, I think we're all kind of like ODing on attendance tokens, but if you step back and you look at each piece, I'm obsessed when he submits them each week for the show apps. They're all so full of personality. They're so cool. I'm so bullish on like how those play out in the long run, because they're not that many, and each version or each token is unique, and there's only 50 of them. And so, yeah, sorry, I'm rambling now. And I do have to run. I'm taking Dino's mom to the doctor, so I'm going to bounce down to listener until I get in the car. But yeah, so bullish on Stony, and I really hope that grant passes, because I think, like I said, it's really an investment on Decentraland's behalf to push these artists to become sustainable.
Thank you, Shelly. Good luck. Thank you for being here. Drive safe. Stay cool. Stay away from the scorpions.
She's been showing some funky bugs and stuff like that. Every morning I wake up, there's a big old bug picture, like, look what I found, and Shelly's like touching it and shit. I'm just like, Shelly, don't touch that. But of course you can't hear me. But
no, I love bugs. Sorry, I'm such a weirdo ever since I was a little kid. My dad gave me access to the pool shed. He's like, if you clean it, it's yours. And I created a bug hospital and would rescue all the bugs out of the pool. So yeah, I'm definitely a weirdo.
That's not cleaning it. That is putting all the bugs in it. I don't understand how you didn't live up to your end of the deal. This is horrifying.
It was the cleanest bug hospital ever. But yeah, I'm a little weirdo. So
can we make a play to earn game like the Shelly Van Bug Hospital, where you have to go around and grab the bugs out of the toilets and the pools, and then you have to nurse them back to health. But some of them will also bite you.
The game jam is going on right now. You guys could make that a game jam reality.
Yeah. I used to have to fish chipmunks out of the toilets at the state park, because in the summer, like, it gets so dry, they don't have any water, and so they go in there for a drink, and then some of them we could save, some of them we were too late. But man, you just nurse that little sucker back to health. You just dry him off, wipe that toilet water off of him, and they're grateful. So maybe, Shelly, it could be like a joint game.
Having like a squirrel best friend does seem like it would have its rewards. It feels like, of all the vermin in nature, because I think that they're in that category of animal, like, they're the cutest. Like, no one wants a pet mole. That's not helping anyone. But like a squirrel, like, that can get your you get your soccer ball stuck on the roof. He could probably help you out. I can't think of other instances where having a squirrel best friend would be helpful, but like, I'm sure there's more than just if you play soccer in your low, like, one-story buildings. Okay, I should stop being up here and then get back to being productive in my writing and whatnot, so that you guys can let other people talk.
Ooh, writing. I mean, it seems like not many of our friends are feeling chatty today. Let's see. Let's invite someone up. Well, not someone, but directly, but just send the message out there. Would anyone like to come up and talk about anything specifically? Any questions, comments, concerns? And I also see some new listeners down there at the bottom. If you would like to come up and ask any questions about Decentraland, you're more than welcome to. We usually host these Twitter Spaces every Wednesday at noon Eastern for this purpose, just to talk about Decentraland related topics, or even get to meet some new community members and answer their questions and try to help them out, connect the dots. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come up to speak. If not, maybe Canessa and I can ramble on for another couple minutes and maybe close down, and we can act natural in the metaverse. I'm currently looking at a proposal, and and when I looked in the comments, it's HP just being like, truly hilarious, really. That's a good sign. So I think that's like my cue to like come in and be like, hello, Mr. Random Number Wallet, when name claim.
Okay, which one is this?
Cryptos.
crypto wallet safety from copy paste scam and security.
Yes. Yes. So safe. And so, yes. I don't know. I'm like, what would keep somebody from developing a really cool app to be helpful and then like putting some malware really deep in it where then you just, I don't know. I'm not a dev, so I don't know what's possible, but that seems like it's a possibility. But like when you don't know what's possible, anything's possible. So maybe somebody that knows like deep coding, they'd be like, no, that's not even possible.
I don't know. It seems like whenever I speak with these individuals, they're usually like, anything that's bad that you can think of in your head, that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. Like most of the people in the room, I think at this point we're all pretty experienced. I remember like last year there were a lot of like it seemed like there were a lot of newer users just still kind of coming into the space, and we had to constantly do these like safety checks of like don't click the links, the metaverse that they want you to come and take a look at, that's not real. What else? Don't, like your post recently, don't accept the offer on the NFT that you don't know how it got in your wallet, etc. But I think we all know that by now, hopefully.
I don't know. Sometimes we need some reminders and stuff. Yeah, don't click on that random NFT. And that reminds me actually to even pin that at the top and share it with the space just in case. You never know who might see the post and be like, okay, so I shouldn't accept this half ETH offer.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at it, you're like, but maybe, I mean, what could I do with half ETH? I could do a lot with that, right? And then you're like, no, slap your inner voice says, no, shut up, that's no. So yeah, I mean,
you won't be doing much after when your wallet's drained.
Yeah. I think also, yeah, just a reminder for everybody, if you're buying on OpenSea, make sure you look very carefully at the contract that you're buying, because it can, they can show you an image of what you're buying and it's just literally a JPEG image of that beautiful ice poker wearable, but you're not actually going to get it. And then also on OpenSea, make sure anytime you're buying anything, check for like a little red mark that shows that that maybe it is compromised, because things that have been reported as stolen, well, I guess you can't buy it, right? Then they couldn't buy it. No, you can buy it. My mind.
You can. You're just buying something that's stolen.
Yeah. So make sure you check for that. There'll be a little red check mark that says that it may have come from a stolen wallet. So, yes, good things to know.
And we'll pass it over to Steven. How are you this morning, afternoon?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I just connect to mention one thing that you forgot to say. Don't forget to use always your burner wallet. Never use wallet with funds to do crazy stuff. You can go to these crazy links. If you are like addict to go to crazy links, go. But with a burner wallet, right? So that's the only thing like also that I can share to be safe for the newbies.
Yes, so happy that you came up and mentioned that. Like, yes, and also, which even to like keep going with that one, like it has to be an actual different wallet, not like whole MetaMask, not just like a different address that's within the same MetaMask application. So like I would suggest maybe using a different browser and downloading MetaMask again and making a whole new wallet, and do not import any old wallets to that. Just make it like your hot wallet, or even like just the whole device. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, but still, the correct way is to have 3 or 4 wallets. Your ledger, like your safe wallet, you don't touch this, you don't connect this to anything. Then you have your daily wallet where you have maybe $100, $50, I don't know, to buy stuff, to move. And you have your burner wallet. So like this, you will never have any problem, man. I mean, by lazy, and I'm talking by myself, I've been drained many times, and I'm telling you, past months, not years ago, past months, it's because I was lazy to go to the other wallet. So I just connect where I had my blue chips, and boom, drained. So it happened to me, and I learned like the hard way. So I don't want like newbies to have the same problem. Like they put $1,000 to start in crypto and they got drained. So they leave Web3 just because they don't have maybe the right steps to take, huh?
Totally. I do agree. There have been so many of our friends that kind of like lose the motivation because they got drained, and also like big shout out to the ones that have stayed. Like there are friends here in this room that have gotten drained before, lost everything, and and they're still here, they're still building, they are still moving forward. Like we gotta show a lot of love to those individuals as well, and and also like encourage them to keep passing on the message. Keep telling people about the possibility, like how you can get drained, or like what not to do. Share knowledge.
Yeah, and also don't do business outside like real platforms, like person to person. It's very, very dangerous, only unless it's your brother, your family member, or somebody that you really trust or know. But if it's a friend that you just know on Web3, hey, send me and I sent you the money, they gonna fuck you up at the end. Sorry for my language. It happened also to me a few months ago. I met a guy on Discord. We became friends. So we start trading NFTs. I send him the NFT. He sent me the money. He sent me the money. I send him the NFT. But $50, $80, $100. Uh, After 2 months doing this daily trades, little trades, I decide to sell a collection that I had on OpenSea. Cost me around $4,000 or $5,000 past months, a few months ago. So I put it on sale, and this guy send me a DM, tells me, "Hey, Stefan, I see you selling your collection. Why you don't sell it to me?" I tell him, "Of course, you're my friend. Let's do it. Give me the wallet." So I send them all these NFTs, like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of the Puff Puff Pandas, but they were a lot, and I bought them myself. So I sent them. He blocked me right away. After 2 months building relationship, trading little amounts. So this is something also you cannot trust. If you don't know the person, not even after a year, don't send. They block you and you lose. That's it.
Well, and there's so many ways to be socially engineered. I mean, it a really smart person wouldn't try to get to know you and drain your wallet after a month. They would be like the long game, the moles. Like, I remember not trusting Rustan, and he wanted to send me this file, and I was like, dude, I don't know this guy. Like, Rustan, he's kind of sus. Rustan and Fermion, like those were my.
Kanasan, he didn't even drain my wallet. He gained my confidence. I sent them all the NFTs. This is even worse. He didn't drain my wallet. It's even worse. So the message that I want to share for the new people is be safe out there. Know what you're doing. Don't keep a lot of money when you're playing. And yeah, have fun on the Web3.
Man, it's this is still one of those like things that I just keep repeating myself on. Like this space needs those cybersecurity experts coming in, the cybersecurity firms. Like could they not see a possible like free market within this space? Like like for some of them it could be like the biggest decision for their security firm. Like I like what Wallet Guard is doing in the space, where like Wallet Guard is like a extra layer of safety to your wallet, by kind of like making it like a two-factor authentication. Like let's say like someone gets into your wallet and then starts like sending all your NFTs to a different wallet, you would get like a notification saying like, do you approve of all your assets being available to this other person or whatever.
Where do you get this notification? To your SMS, or where do you get this notification?
I believe Wallet Guard is an app. Have you heard of Wallet Guard yet?
I've heard about them, but I've never used it. I'm gonna be honest to you.
Yeah, I've heard them speak like many times and stuff like that. I personally have not used it, mainly because of the lazy aspect of it. I've been too lazy to kind of like go to their website and download it. But
Yeah.
I do know a few individuals that have downloaded Wallet Guard and have been like actively using it to kind of protect their assets. I know that Michael K. He used to be like very active in Decentraland. I don't think he likes us too much anymore. No, I'm kidding. He's one of their like someone in their team, and from me meeting Michael K, it's like I first thing I noticed was that he is very very into like security, securing your PC, securing your wallet, and there's many measures that like he's like even just suggested to me from just like passing conversations, like, oh, you should do this, you should not sign that. Yeah.
Yeah, agree with you 100%. Like, I didn't want to shill my company here, but that's basically what we do at NFTF. We teaching the newbies how to surf and board them on the Web3 through a very safe way. You just mentioned 2FA, using burner wallets, many ways. So the newbie, I'm talking about newbie because now it's us past like 2 3 years, but in the next 5 years I believe the Web3 is gonna explode. So all these newbies are gonna come, and the scammers are gonna be like active also, so we gotta protect them you know so this is one of the first things that we're teaching at NFTF in our academy, like the safety before making money, before buying the good NFT, before doing the right investment or whatever. It's the safety. Okay, if you have safety, $1 it's the same as $1 million, but you gotta keep the safety first.
My thoughts are like with 2FA, why doesn't MetaMask have that? That layer right there alone, it will be like something huge for like new users. I'm not saying like that's all they'll ever need and stuff like that, but like just to like begin with, like with a platform that is very trusted, or like a wallet that's like very trusted and has gotten like so big, like they need to implement a 2FA, two-factor. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think because of decentralization, I mean, I don't know about the laws, but yeah, it's a good suggestion for them.
I'm gonna hit them up. I'm gonna slide in their DMs and be like, you may not know me, but I have been a user for years now.
Agreed. No, but man, that's why you gotta use different wallets. The burner one, the safety one, Ledger. If you keep it this way, you will never get drained. Nobody can go to your Ledger and take it out. It's very difficult. So, if you keep it this way, man, nothing is gonna happen. I'm sure.
I agree. I totally agree. but the way that I look at it is like it needs to be easier to protect yourself within this space because as we've noticed, like there's a lot of normies that come into the space and like they don't even know how to use Discord, and then like let alone to think that they're gonna be knowledgeable or like know how to use like three wallets, like or multiple wallets, and to have these multiple wallets and like to always switch between them and in a safe manner and stuff like that. Like,
well,
go ahead.
Like you were saying, like it doesn't matter if it's well, it does matter, but like if it's a $1 or $100, like getting hacked, logging in and finding your stuff gone, that is a violation. Like it's a violation of your sense of security and safety. And I've seen many people like that they got $25 stolen or $100 stolen, and for most of us that's not going to make or break us, but it doesn't mean that doesn't leave a lasting impact on your overall taste of the ecosystem. Like look at Mr. Bones. He came in, he was trying to make a wearable, like within 2 weeks he was hacked and had all of his money stolen apparently. Like I think Web3, you're going to have a giant population, a giant number of people who are trying to come in, but they do something small, they get hacked, they lose $200 that maybe they don't have to lose, and they're going to be like, screw this, like this didn't happen in Web 2. I mean, this didn't happen before. And so I think that education, I mean, the hackers are only going to get smarter. Social engineering people, they're only going to get more cunning and cutthroat. And so really, like, we need to protect our new friends that before anything bad happens. And then like we need to protect our old friends too, because we are probably at more risk of just getting blasé and lazy and fast, and we want to get that vibe, we want to re-roll for that freaking legendary, and so maybe we do stupid things because we just need to re-roll. So it's always good to hear it one more time. Be safe.
Hey, Sinful and Canessa, I'm gonna head over a call. Thank you for having me, sharing some nice words. Guys, be safe. Okay, thank you.
Steven, thank you so much for coming up and speaking with us. It was very nice hearing from you again. And you're always welcome to come up and chime into the conversation. Go ahead, Canessa.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you. I'm glad when different people come up, because it's good to hear a variety of voices, not just our own. So thank you so much for coming up and speaking and bringing up safety.
All right. So now on to our next order of business. How the hell do I get more followers on Lenster? That's what it's called. Yes, Lenster. Anyone have any strategies on building your social media, your Lenster?
You're speaking a new language to me.
It's Lens protocol. It's like Lenster is like Web3 Twitter, basically. If you're looking at my screen right now, or on the big screen, like that's what I'm like scrolling through right now. This is my little profile. It's linked to my Lens protocol stuffs. It's very cool.
Okay, I'm checking it out. I was like, I crashed, and I was like at crash land and just zoning out. Oh, it does, like Web3 Twitter. Oh, so interesting. That's what we need.
And since it's on the Lens protocol, it's also like linked to this other website that I just like went to. That's called LensTube, and it's like a YouTube, but Web3 YouTube. And people, individuals that are in the in the Lens protocol, or have a Lens protocol thingy, can publish their videos here through IPSF. So it's like, I guess, permanent in the the video will become permanent once you upload it from here. And everyone will know it's yours.
That is cool. We need somebody to do like how about you do a tutorial video on how we can all go in there and use it, set up our, are there any roadblocks that you figured out that would help make it easier, and then we'll all come in and follow each other, because that's the smart thing to do.
The only roadblock I see basically is the fact that like the process of getting in is just so slow. Like for me, my process was I filled out a survey or whatever that Mr. Swee sent over to me after I had asked him like what was LensTube, and he's like, oh yeah, you can sign, do you have a Lens Protocol account or whatever, and then he sent me that, and then like a month or two later I got my email saying you have been accepted. So I guess like they're their own blockade.
Got it. You probably don't remember the days when, like, to get on Pinterest, you had to have an invite from somebody else. So it was, like, artfully curated. So I wonder if it's kind of interesting that Lens would have it like that. But that's good, because that means you're still early if it takes a while to get in, and maybe not so easy. So I guess when everybody can just start and make a bunch of bot accounts, then that means that it's too late to be an early adopter.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I definitely made sure that as soon as I got onto it, I published the welcoming new users video that's published on YouTube. I made sure to publish that on LensTube in case anyone is interested in knowing more about Decentraland.
That would be cool if we pushed a lot of Decentraland content, just so that anybody that is like, from other facets of Web3 and entering, Lens Protocol, that there's just they're exposed to a lot of Decentraland content. I think looking at Hyperfi, like when you go in and you look at all the builds, and all the top builds are by like Decentraland builders, you realize like, whoa, okay, like that's cool. So I don't know, like cross-pollinating Lens Protocol is a good idea.
Yes, good idea. I mean, the way that I feel at the moment, it's like that the Decentraland community is the Hyperfi community. They're basically, like, for the most part, people are like, it's just been individuals from our community like kind of migrating over there, as well as like vice versa. I've met a few people that are only Hyperfi natives, but yeah, for the most part, most of the population comes from, our little bubble here. Our little bubble in Web3 that I'm so proud of.
Yes. That is cool. Like, if you think about that, like, I think we know who a couple of the tent pole or like the key users who maybe got their friends to check out Hyperfi. I think we know who they are. They might be in the room. But it is interesting, the power of community, that like one person goes and finds this new little like niche, thing, whether it be Hyperfi or Vipe or Vipes on Hyperfi. Like, it's pretty cool. I wonder what other projects like will be brought in by people. I mean, it's just so cool to see the shit that is being built out there.
As this community grows, there will be many people that get out there and explore and make their mark on other metaverse platforms, and kind of bring Decentraland community members to that platform, and vice versa. I see it as like what I'm visualizing in my head is that game Plague Inc., where like you start a like virus in like in one country, and then you like make it so like it's airborne, so like then it starts traveling to the other countries and stuff like that. That's kind of like how I'm seeing it. Like we're just the Decentraland Plague.
Yes, I love that game. I just played it like 2 weeks ago. I played it before COVID. I think after COVID, it kind of hit a little different.
Oh my god.
But I would name my viruses like happiness. And so I was spreading happiness around the globe because I could not bring myself to like bring Ebola to the globe. Like, no freaking way. I am not that person. But like fluffiness and happiness and like world peace. I would spread world peace through like airborne pathogens.
Happiness has now infected a third of the globe. Yep.
Yeah, but that's like us spreading Decentraland, because it's not just that's such a perfect analogy, because like back in November 2021, like that shit went viral, right? Like it must have gone airborne, like in the movie the Hot Zone, when Ebola goes airborne. It's like, oh my God, and then it exponentially infects more people. Well, that's what happened to Decentraland. All of a sudden it's infecting more people, but it was like a flash pan in the fire. Like there were games here a little bit. I mean, obviously there was enough that a lot of us stuck around, but it wasn't like that slow burn that we need. And now I think we have that. Like there's so much more developed here, so that if we get another chance to go viral, like airborne or whatever, bloodborne pathogens, like we will be more powerful. And if anybody jumps in on the convo right now, like, ooh, good luck knowing what we're talking
about. I remember, playing that game like back in 2012, 2011, 2010. And, it was just such a total mind fuck to like fast forward to 2020, and it's like, wow, I'm actually living it. Like all the headlines like from within the game like became like so relevant, like you would actually like see the headline like in real life and stuff like that. It was some shit.
Yeah, it was wild, because like the first patient in the United States was in the hospital where my dad had spent a lot of time. Like I've been in that hospital many times, and it was like, how the fuck did this just become ground zero? Like the first patient in the United States is in my backyard. Like it like that was scary. And then it spread to a nursing home in Western Washington. And then, so it was like weird as hell to be that close. Yeah. Some of those things, like, I don't even think about. I think collectively we do kind of like, we just I don't know, we blank it out because it was such a weird, impactful, traumatic time. We'll like slowly process it. Probably in 20 years we'll all be like, damn, we lived through that.
In 20 years we'll be like, you youngsters don't know what it's like to play a game and then actually live it.
Yeah, or like there'll be things that we do, just, I mean, really, when somebody sneezes, I think I'm to the point where somebody can sneeze and I don't immediately like want to just evacuate the perimeter. Actually, I think in some ways we've gone back to life pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be things that we see or say or do that just like will stick with us, even like social, how close we stand to people. Or, like the metaverse being safer to go watch live music in the metaverse than it is to go to a club and be around, a bunch of other people. Like these things, I think they will impact us and change us forever.
I was following COVID protocol way before COVID. I mean, I usually stand 6 feet behind a person when I'm in line, or like I'm never all up in their face. But I did also notice that like once stuff like that started like becoming like I guess, forced on or whatever, like on us. Like there would be more people that would make it a thing to get up on you and like breathe down your neck. Like I swear, I've had.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like my like the students I was working with, some of them would wear masks, some of them wouldn't, and just because of where they were, cognitively, and so one of them, he loved fucking with me and taking his mask off, and so I'd be like, Johnny, keep your mask on, and he'd rip it off, and then he'd be like, mask off, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So like, yeah, I don't know where that fits in, but so I got really used to just, okay, we're all family here. Whatever you got, I'm gonna get, and I love you.
well, I'll see you on the other side of the COVID train.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I used to wear like a full face mask, double mask, like a smock, gloves. It was wild. It was a wild scene, and now
I live in Florida, so we use hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
That's it.
Oh my gosh. Crazy world.
Yeah. Not saying that I followed COVID protocol with wearing my masks and whatnot, but I do. I guess it's like naturally just tend to be away from people.
Yeah, I think the introverts fared much better than the extroverts. We're like, damn, I've been practicing this shit for 20 years. Let's do it. Let's go.
You're just now standing 6 feet behind a person. I do that on the daily. I do that as a hobby, actually.
Yeah. Like I can't go to the grocery store because shit's selling out. Let me just go to my little bug out shelter where I have carefully held aside 6 months worth of rations in hopes.
Oh, Vanessa, that's another Florida thing that's like just even normal, like having supermarkets just cleared out. We get a little training for that every year when a hurricane comes. Like like everyone is just like total bug out mode. So like when COVID came, it was like we're just like, okay, so it's like a hurricane. And like we just like take our precautions like that. Like like for example, one personal thing that like I know from being at the end of doing end of the world training every year is okay, well, supermarkets just ran out of water. There's a long line. Okay, cool, time for me to hit the gas station that's closest to my house. They have water. It seems like individual people don't think about like gas stations having water.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In times of crisis like that, people are just like bombarding the supermarkets. I'm like, okay, bye suckers. I'm going to quickly walk through the gas station line and get water that way.
Yeah, that's why I'm near a freshwater source coming out of the mountains, and why I'm really close to the mountains, so I can just hit the hills. If I sound like a really crazy, unstable person living.
I can already see you with your life straw just sucking like water out of the creek or whatever.
Just to be full disclosure, my dad helped develop that probably 15 years ago, before it was like retailed to the public. He was helping create it for people. It was just going to Africa to bring entire villages like clean drinking water. So yay.
No fucking way.
Yeah, he worked on.
I have like 5 of your dad's product.
Nice. Yeah, I there's so much. Yeah, kind of digress, but like there's so much stuff that because he was a plastic tooling engineer, he would work on. Like he worked on the Oculus, like probably 15 years ago, or like before Oculus was like a common namesake. But he would, his job was to make sure that the plastic pieces work. So he's got like, I don't know, 50 Oculus like prototype plastic pieces. He's got all sorts of crazy shit. Like he he was on the team that made like the keyboard that was curved to fit the ergonomics of your hand. So he has one like signed by the entire team that worked on it. I don't know, just crazy obscure stuff like that. So I guess that's why tech has always been like so fascinating, because he would always have something new. So I'm always like, what's new? Always curious.
Curved keyboard. I don't think I've had the pleasure of having one of those in my life yet.
Let's see, what if I look up natural keyboard? Like now I think they're not a big deal, but that was in the 90s. That was the first time. Yeah, just like Microsoft ergonomic natural keyboard. Yeah, released in 1994. There we go. So if you think about it, your hands, it's very unnatural to type on a regular computer where the keyboard is flat. Your hands want to naturally sit at maybe like a 40-degree angle or 45-degree angle. And so the natural keyboard, it fits like ergonomics of your hand much better. But now you can just get them anywhere. But back then it was really cool.
So I see that we have hit our 3-hour mark for the space. I guess no one has requested to come up to speak for a little bit, so maybe it's a good time to start winding down, Canessa.
I think we are there. I think when we start talking about like the levels of the quantity of food in our bug out shelters and where to get water in case of an emergency, I think that's our cue. We need somebody like politely like in the background, like cut it.
Yeah, we're his production manager, just like cut, stop talking now.
But at least you all know Sinful and I are going to survive the Armageddon, so even afterwards, we will be here. We will be here after the grid goes down.
Yep. I drank enough hose water in my youth to, just be able to fight any disease. Hose water is very important. I don't suggest doing it now, but as a child, maybe. It's that Flintstones gummy I ate when I was 12 is still working hard.
Yeah, yep. I lived on the hose water too. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All the things.
All right, well, I guess have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this space. It's been an awesome 3 hours, awesome conversation. And yeah, we'll see you back next week. Let's see. I think our baby dolls have canceled the week and taken the week off on events, so there won't be any events there, but I do know that True Band Room is still going strong. Mr. Sweet will be performing tonight for his birthday. So yeah, make sure to attend Mr. Sweet's birthday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And just remember, act natural, be nice to each other, love one another. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Your time means a lot to us.
Yeah, 100%. You guys have so many places that you could be, and the fact that you're here with us. Summer's busy, summer's beautiful. There's so many good things to do out there, and so the fact that you're here, just thank you. But take those breaks, so that we can not burn out and be here for each other. I'm so glad. Oh, Alpha dropped. I'm so glad to see Alpha in the space. So yeah, take care and we'll see you soon.
Oh, one more thing. I need one more viewer on Kick so I can raid to someone. Don't know who I'm raiding to, but we need one more viewer. So if you're on Twitch,
do you have the link?
I see that we have.
Can you?
I see that we have. Yeah, I'll send you a link. I know that we have 10 viewers on Twitch, and but we need someone migrate, please. So if you're on Twitch, need the raid.
Do you have the link?
I see that we have.
Can you?
Okay, I see that we have. That is all for now. Send you a link.
Okay.
I know that we have 10 viewers on Twitch, and so yeah, but we need someone migrate, please. We need the raid. I see that we have. Okay.
Alrighty, on that note, that was a very good space. On that note,
I know that we
I'd like to thank everyone that's here.
10 viewers on Twitch.
10 viewers.
So yeah, but we need someone migrate, please. We need the raid. I see that we have. Okay.
Alrighty, on that note, that was a very good space. On that note,
I know that we
I'd like to thank everyone that's here.
10 viewers on Twitch.
10 viewers.
So yeah, but we need someone migrate, please. We need the raid. I see that we have. Okay.
Alrighty, on that note, that was a very good space. On that note,
I know that we
I'd like to thank everyone that's here.
10 viewers on Twitch.
10 viewers.
So yeah, but we need
I see that we're still. Okay, now I think I can talk. Thank you so much, Mary Shark. Hey, Swayze Streams. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Zom, Andrea, Billy, Polterdamus, all our friends. I mean, even in World, we have Maska, Mary Shark, Balin, Ultravanada. I thank you all. I thank you all. And once again, yeah, someone jump over to Kick so we can have 5 viewers, and then I will be allowed to raid the next streamer. And you never know, we might make some friends.